40 days. Man, we are rolling towards the start of the NFL season. Hall of Fame game is on Thursday. And a ton of news and a bunch of guys also getting paid. I mean, you're looking at dudes getting paid now. And you see my boy Zay Flowers ending up getting paid. I told you he was the 10th best wide receiver in pro football, and they paid him accordingly. 35 large per year. And on top of that, they ended up just paying Bijan Robinson. He's going to make 22, 5 per year? We need another wide receiver bad. No depth behind Smitty. I know everyone in here, Leon, was telling me that you guys are deep. Just because you have dudes doesn't mean you're deep. That just means you got guys. And nobody in that group is going to replace the presence or the performance of A.J. Brown. You've got to figure out another lane to go in. And what you did just by the numbers, that's not going to cut it. By the way, real quick, in 2023, if you remember right, I picked 5 dudes to be in my sandbox for the 2023 draft. And Bijan Robinson was one of those guys. I said that guy's going to be the best running back in pro football. When everything is said and done, you can make the argument he's in that conversation. So he just signed, as I said, $22.5 million per year, making him the highest paid running back. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs up in Detroit must be smiling from ear to ear because that's going to affect him, obviously. Robinson is the best back in football. Catches the ball, blocks, tremendous runner. He was the 8th player taken in 23. Jalen Carter was the 9th player taken. If you had to do that all over again, what player do you think the Eagles would covet today? If you had a chance to play Monday morning quarterback, what guy would you want? Carter or Robinson? By the way, again, hey, washed in Washington, or excuse me, Atlanta. Bro, you can't help he went to a shitty team. Again, another guy not educated. Bijan Robinson. Let's take a look at what that guy has done since he's been an Atlanta Falcon with no quarterback play whatsoever. So let's take a look at that. In his 3 years in Atlanta, 3,900 yards, 25 touchdowns. How about receiving? Let's take a look at that. 58 catches, 61 catches, 79 catches for 820 yards last year with no quarterback play whatsoever in Atlanta. Every year he's been a Pro Bowler. He was the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate his rookie year, and he made first-team All-Pro this past season as a running back. The guy, without a doubt, is the best player in the game. Say whatever you want. And idiots like this have no idea what they're fucking talking about. I mean, Carter. Hurts can't get Robinson the ball. There's a thought process. The dude is exceptional. He's an exceptional player. I'm going to say this. Probably the way Philadelphia does business because they believe in the lines. They probably made the right pick, depending on what Carter does this year. But it goes down how they build their team, through the lines. So probably they did the right thing by getting Carter. But Robinson's the better player. So I can't lie. I like JC, but in that draft, I was hoping and praying we got Bijan. I mean, I saw this. Niners missing 14 players at practice, season over, and it hasn't begun. I'd hang in there too before you find out what's going on with Lane Johnson, kid. Seals, you think last year with Dickerson, I think the medical staff rushed him back too soon. By the way, We're going to talk about that a little bit. I went back and re-listened to that interview and Sirianni talking and being questioned about that. Both your wide receivers hurt. You want to talk about health? Correct. Eagles have no room to talk about health. They got to hope that old line is healthy. But I will say this, Nad. If we're going to talk health versus the 49ers, it's no conversation. The Eagles have been a healthier organization in the Nick Sirianni era than what you have been. I mean, that's just facts. 2 times when they went to the Super Bowl, almost each and every single one of those guys that was a starter in September played in that February Super Bowl. They got the corner on health. So I would hang in there and I would say the Eagles are a healthier group and a healthier organization than what the 49ers have been. Bijan is a beast. Take off your green glasses and recognize greatness. He's a great player. Who would you want? Robinson or Carter? If you had to play Monday morning quarterback on that 2023 draft, me personally, man, it's an offensive league. But would I spend the 8th pick on a back? Whew. Man. And I got Saquon in free agency. By the way, Saquon is not a better back than Bijan has ever been. Okay? He's not. Catches the ball better, blocks better, runs better. Barkley had a spectacular career year. Would I take Carter or Robinson? Man, is that a tough one? Man. Carter's a better pick. He stunk last year. Robinson's never been bad. Dude, Carter. Carter all day? Now, that's a great point. So I wouldn't spend an 8th pick on the running back. That's probably why I wouldn't take Bijan, is because of the 8th pick. So if I were looking to build the team and going back and on having Monday morning quarterback in the 23 draft, would I take Carter or would I take Bijan Robinson? I'm probably going to take Carter. It's a safer pick. It's a trench pick. It's what the Eagles do. And it's such a gamble going after running backs and praying that running back is that guy. I mean, a lot of people, they knew Robinson was a good player, but would he be that good? So if I had to, I'd probably say, for me at least, the better pick would be Carter. And I would take Carter over Robinson just because of the fact I wouldn't want to take a running back with the 8th pick. Remember, the next pick was Carter. So, Shields, remember when I said Lynch said it was impossible to have Buckner and Armstead as 2 DTs getting paid? How'd that work out for the Eagles wide receiving core? Can't be too rich in one position. I think you're right. Sills, they said Hurts was 6 for 19 today. Do you think by him going against Vic's D is helping and helpful or hurtful? We don't know where he stands until joint practices against New England, right? I wouldn't put too much into those joint practices either. Those joint practices are not real football. Okay? And Vic Fangio tells you that. That's not real football. You get a better look and you get a better opportunity to see what you look like against opposing teams. But, yeah. So, Gary Cobb sent me an email Hurts was 6 of 19. And Tuesday was, as they said, was a little bit up and down. Offensive performance was filled with backups and flags. Both Devontae and Mekhi Lemon missed practice due to hamstrings. So M. Reyes is in here talking about injuries. Devontae Smith and Mekhi Lemon were out with hamstring injuries in this practice. Hurts had backups in there, so take that into consideration. And there were a lot of issues with the offensive line. Okay? 6 of 19, one of the lowest days I've charted ever. And this is ESP. I'm looking over at his comments and also with Gary's comments. Gary was out there today along with ESP. His interception was probably a poor decision. Probably it was, according to Gary. And again, 6 of 19, 0 touchdowns, and a pick. So out of all the days you have going on so far, there's been one day, and I heard John McMullen going back and listening to last night's show say that because Hurts threw 3 touchdowns doesn't necessarily mean that they had a really great day, because they didn't progressively go down to the red zone. They were placed in the red zone, and red zone is set up for situations like that. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, today was the first day they put the shoulder pads on. 6 of 19. How is that possible in practice? Well, when you're installing new shit with backups also, and you, get this, and you miss Devontae, bro, you don't have explosion players outside of Barkley. That offense is not what you think it is. If Smith's not on the field, it's a below average offensive attack outside of Barkley. I kept asking you the last week, who are your explosion players? Okay. Well, one got taken off the field today because of a hamstring injury. They're saying it's not serious, which is great for Devontae. But what's up with this guy, Lemon? Holy shit. Kim, honestly, Aaron Donald didn't try against us before. Let's see here. No AJ, no Smitty. Better hope Smith stays healthy. Yeah. Seals Wicks, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore versus Q, Wolin, Q. Yeah, good luck. All right. Well, dude, those guys didn't have any problems when A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith were practicing against them. Shit, I heard last year, ESP reporting the ball barely hits the ground because of those 2 receivers that you had on your football field. They were going against those guys a year ago. Shit, they went a couple of years ago against Slay, Cooper, and also Q. What are you talking about? I didn't hear any of that bullshit last year. Q wasn't shutting down AJ. Purdy had trash cans. Don't want to hear about backups. Okay? Sky was falling yesterday. Now the moon crashed. Only reporting what they're talking about in camp, guy. Hey, AZ, you're a dude that doesn't like to hear what happened in practice, especially if it wasn't a good day for your hero. It's practice. Suck it up. Nobody's perfect. They're installing shit. Stop crying. You sound like a chick. Sills Lane being out already concerns me. Yeah, but I'm hearing it's nothing to do with health. Okay? I don't know what that means. Okay? I don't. It's 3 straight days now. see here. If Smith gets hurt in season, we're in a shitload of trouble. Yeah, because you know why? You don't have explosion players anymore. There's no AJ and Devontae together. And Hurts is not going to sit there and be Matthew Stafford in the pocket and elevate Darius Cooper. How can you send any quarterback out there with these dudes? They had more drops than catches. I don't know. When I'm watching certain quarterbacks and I watched Josh Allen with the receivers he has, he gets it done. Mahomes gets it done with the trash cans he has. I don't know. Sills, would you bring in Stephon or Hill? If I were them, I'd start looking at anybody. Last season, I was saying if Q gets hurt, we're fucked. This season, the guy is Smitty. Boy, 6 of 19, your first day of pads, and you're installing. Not good. Mahomes gets it done. No, like 3 Super Bowls. Like, don't you love this guy? He'll count those 2 Super Bowls that Hurts went to, but he won't count the 7 AFC championship games and 5 Super Bowls he went to. Okay. And you getting worked by the Niners in a backup team last year. Hurts had the same amount of passing TDs as Josh Allen last year. Or you're one of the guys that believes that Hurts is as good as Allen. No comment. But 3 months ago, everyone was saying this is the deepest wide. No. Not me. I wasn't saying that. I told you they were dudes. Hurts' ability already drops the ceiling. This is one hell of a risk we're taking when Lemon or Wicks supposed to be serviceable. Get this. Listen to this. Hurts was using a backup offensive line, and there were stretches of practice where Jalen Hurts was on the field with 9 to 10 players that weren't on the team last year. Sounds like Brock Purdy to me in the playoff game. Hey, Nad, am I right? What Reyes just said, doesn't that sound like the playoff game the 49ers had? Lost Kittle. There were 5 other guys that were on the defense that were on the practice squad. Sills, who do you got winning each division in the NFC and AFC? If you could go into detail on why you picked those teams. We might do that today. We got a boatload of topics here, though. We're going to get to them, and we will kind of go over a little bit. And don't forget, right after the program, John will give you a heads-on or eyeball view of what went on today. I'm getting glimpses of it, and people are texting me and emailing me that the offense had a very, very shaky day today. Hey, Reyes, seamless transition. Remember he said that, folks? Seamless transition. 2 years in a row he said that. Hey, Reyes, let me ask you a question before I go back to you, Mr. Hill. You think Mannion improves the offensive passing attack? Yes or no? And it'll be a seamless transition. Do you believe that still? I'll give you a chance to change right now. Do you think you're going to be seamless? Seamless transition still in play. Okay. Same one as a year ago. That never was seamless. As a matter of fact, if you think about Reyes' take here, the Philadelphia Eagles offense hasn't been seamless in 18 games and 2 training camps. But that's seamless to Reyes. 18 games and 2 training camps. Something I want to start the program out with. Hey, RC, are you in here? Got a question for RC. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. We appreciate you all being in here. RC, are you in here? I'd like to ask RC a question. Hopefully he is. If not, we'll get somebody else in here. Let's see here. Okay, there he is. Good. So I saw you today with Zander talking about either you or it was Prince. Prince, it might have been you if you're in here. You said it's practice only. Prince, is that you? You said it was practice, right? Hey, it's only practice. How many people believe that mentality? It's only practice. Relax. Let's see what happens in games. How many people buy that mentality? How many people don't care about practice? I saw Prince go, relax. It's only practice. Let's see here. He tore us up until he got injured. I believe it in week 1, okay? Sills haven't seemed seamless since 22, Sills. They changed the offense in game 5 of 24. Might have been Prince. Okay. Let's see what he says. Reps matter, but practice isn't an indication of future success or failure. Tell that to Tom Brady. So, let's use Prince here. Or, Reyes here. How do the Philadelphia Eagles evaluate talent? How do they evaluate talent? Not playing an exhibition football. How do they evaluate who's getting better and who's not getting better? They don't play the starters in preseason football. Production in games, they don't play preseason games. Joint practices, so practice. Is that right, JoJo? So practice. And you got 40 left. So, how are you going to evaluate your football team when some of you are in here just saying, well, practice doesn't really matter? You have no other way of evaluating your talent. And for me, that's how Vic Fangio puts guys on the field. It's through practice. Your practice habits, how you get a chance to play more, is what they do in these scrimmages. By the way, let's add this up. How many training camp practices do you actually have in pads? How many training camp practices? In the NFL. So you got 15 to 20 practices. Let me ask you guys something. Hey, Reyes, anybody who says practice doesn't matter, you got 15 to 20 practices and pads during training camp, and you're limited to 20. You think everyone matters? You know, when people say it's early, you only have 15 to 20 practices, guy. There's no such thing as early. You don't have 3 months and you don't have 30, 40 practices to get yourself ready for the upcoming game. You've got 20 practices to get this shit right. How in God's name do you not think every time you step on the field now with limited practices that not each single one of these matter? People want to see new wide receivers. I did earlier too, but more I'm thinking about it, I don't want to see how much Hurts can elevate a weak group. Get this. You only have 15 to 20 practices, guy. Not all practices are created equal either. How much evaluation is getting done on installation days? That's more about learning and evaluating. That's fucking practice. You have 15 to 20 of these. That's it. What are you talking about? If you're installing a offense and a play and a sequence of running plays, that's practice, guy. $15 to $20 practices is approximately 800 hours of reps. They've been playing this sport their whole life. They haven't played this offense their whole life. And they're struggling. Another day of offensive struggles. Seems to me, get this, everything we have said is playing out. Now, I never told you that it was going to be a shit show in 2026. But I told you, the reason I'm sticking to 8 and 9, you got a long thing. You got a long season ahead of you of getting this offense right. You can't even get it right in training camp with only 15 to 20 practices, guy. Hey, Sills, it's only training camp. Yeah, well, in 1983 and 1987, you've got 3 months of practice. Zay Flowers just got $35 million a year, Sills. Smitty's about to demand a new contract if he has a great year. How's Howie going to pay him 37 to 40? Get this. 21 teams have new offensive coordinators. Okay. Let's take a look at that. NFL teams with new offensive coordinators. Let's see. Here are the teams that have new offensive coordinators. And let's put the asterisk on it. If you've got a play calling head coach, those guys are water cup holders. The Bills, Pete Carmichael, water cup holder. Browns, Travis Switzer, Browns. Eric Bieniemy, water cup holder. Andrew Janko, water cup holder. Clint Kubiak's the play caller. Mike McDaniel. I'll give Mike McDaniel and the Chargers. Mike McDaniel's a big name. Chargers. DeClan Doyle, Ravens. Brand new coaching staff. He will be the play caller because the head coach mentor, Ravens. Davis Webb. He is a water cup holder for Sean Payton. Brian Angelico, Steelers. He's a water cup holder for Mike McCarthy. NFC, Cardinals. Nathaniel Hackett. Yes, Cardinals. Falcons, Tommy Reese, water cup holder. Kevin Stefanski's the play caller. Press Taylor, Bears, water cup holder. Ben Johnson, play caller. Drew Petzking, Lions. Yes, Lions. Nathan Sealhass, Rams, water cup holder. Sean McVay calls plays. Matt Nagy, give it to you, the Giants. David Blah, Commanders. Yes, Commanders. Non-water cup holders. Let's see how many of these teams made the playoffs last year. None of them. None of them. Except the Chargers. Mike McDaniels. Every one of them. Ravens, Browns, Cardinals, Lions, Giants, Commanders all didn't make the playoffs. And the rest of those guys are like Eric Bieniemy, water cup holders. The Eagles are the only ones really outside of the Chargers that changed their coordinator with a winning year and went to the playoffs. Detroit didn't make the playoffs, jackass. They finished last place. I mean, you actually think somebody's calling plays over Sean McVay? Yeah. Okay. That's like saying that Eric Bieniemy is a play caller in Kansas City. There's only two teams that brought in a coordinator that's going to have some significance in the offense. Mike McDaniel with the Chargers and Sean Mannion with the Eagles. Not what I said, dickhead. AJ, hold on. AJ is killing it. He is. AJ's dominating practice against Christian Gonzalez. Even, what's her name? Kim Adams is saying, he's having a phenomenal camp. Broke his finger yesterday or had a hyperextended finger. Still played. Let's see here. Chills, you got the water for the water boys. Hey, what's that got to do with what we just said? Try to stay focused, kid. I know you're 6, but try to stay focused. Jimbo, most of us wanted a rounded tight end. Still early on the kid, but damn, make a play. Hey, Twiz. Hey, Sills, it's early. Dude, you only got 15 or 20 practices before you kick off against the Commanders. And you're struggling in camp offensively. Jim Harbaugh is a football rain man. That dude wins wherever he goes. In my opinion, he's superior to Kyle Shanahan. That guy is a phenomenal coach. There's not a place he hasn't won. Remember something. He took Colin Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. Seals, Birds fans are going to regret wanting Brown out. He's about to make a bunch of idiots in this city look dumb. I've already made a comment. Yahoo Sports picked it up yesterday that the Eagles are going to regret not trying to fix that and keep that guy somehow in Philly. And I'm going to stick to that. That's what we do over 32 years. We have actual takes. Seals, all the people that really know football know for a fact, if you're with McVay, Shanahan, Peyton, LaFleur, Reed, the title of OC is just a title, correct? Seals, you think these rookies would be further along if they hired an exceptional coordinator like Cliff Kingsbury? They'd be further along if they had a more offensive-minded quarterback. But what they're trying to do now is counterproductive. It's just counterproductive. You're trying to turn Jalen Hurts into something that, again, okay? Here, I got to do something here. Hold on for a second. This is with Gary Cobb here. Let's see here. Let's see, please. Thanks. Excuse me here. This is for G Cobb for he's sending me some information and some videos too. Okay, okay. Let me see here. Did you get that, Kim? Okay, here we go. Let's see here. All right, here. So I want this kid, Lawson Lucky from Georgia. Hang in there. Let's see what we got right now, Kim. Kim, you got to go and you've got to move forward with what you have. This is what you built in the offseason. Remember all the things that I said? The things you do in the offseason is going to determine the success you have in the payoff in the fall. Not hollering at you, honey. We should have went EMW 2 round A. Too late now. You're in it. Only 20 practices in training camp. We still practice in between preseason games, correct? I miss AJ already. I'm talking about before you get on a football field. Okay? I'm talking about before you get on a football field. That you have only 15 of these practices. So when people are going like this, hey, hey, we vote. Hey, it's early. What do you mean it's early? Meanwhile, Seals, the 49ers practice are running autopilot with Kyle barely there. Clay Kubiak, Chris Forrester, Raheem Morris. Eagles have no chemistry. Hang in there, Hollywood. Hang in there. Struggling again? All right. So, we're going to get to Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers here in a second. That's exactly what I'm saying. Lemon doesn't fit Hurts' play style. He was the 87th in separation. That means anticipation and window throws in zone. Hey, just because you're a good college player doesn't mean you're going to be a good NFL player. That doesn't mean that. Let's see here. Let's see. Smitty hurt with a hamstring. They're saying it's not serious. Jalen hasn't thrown a pick all camp. He just did today. Right, but it helps if the quarterback plays to his strength. It helps if you coach the quarterback to his strengths. Also, he played in Big Ten. No good cornerbacks in the Big Ten. And, okay? And yesterday, there's 2 picks. LJ's so full of shit, it's sick. Where is this guy? This guy's a douchebag. Look, it's funny how many buckwads come on here and worship this moron like Messiah. Bro, we offered you to come on the program. We gave you an email. And you took a knee. With your 700 different names. Big Joe Krause offered it to you. Guy, sit back and keep the algorithm going. Again, with Lemon, I think it's psychological and the confidence thing. He's got the talent. In fact, he's a perfect prototype for this type of offense. But if you can't get it together psychologically, here's where I'm going to tell you something here about these 2 guys. And I brought this up with Zander. And I'll bring it up with you guys again, okay? Here's what we're looking at here. I want to show you something. Before you guys start, hey, Kim, she's at the bank. Can you do that, please? Thank you. Thank you. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Jesus Christ. Okay. I want to show you something here. So in 2021, Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson were your first 2 draft picks. Okay? In 2022, you had Jordan Davis and you had Cam Jurgens. In 2023, you had Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and Tyler Steen as your first 3 picks. In 24, you had Cooper and Q. In 25, you had Campbell and Makuba. In 26, these guys are getting out to a slow start. You're being gauged by drafting that has been exceptional at the top of your draft. I mean, it's been exceptional. You've been drafting with your first 2 picks, starters. And if Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers don't hit, you're telling me how he may have missed on 4 of 5 drafts? That's a grand slam. And who's to say those guys won't end up one day being contributors? And I'm not saying that right now. They haven't stepped on an NFL field. I'm not there. I'm saying it's troubling that they're not able to step on the field. But at the end of the day here, okay, you're looking at a scenario here where look at what you're gauging these guys against. Devontae Smith, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Davis, Cam Jurgens, Carter, Smith, Steen, Q and Cooper in 24, and 25, Campbell and Makuba. 2026, we'll see what these guys do. But I think you've been a little bit, spoiled with what you're looking at here. But Mekhi Lemon might not be a top-flight wide receiver. How do you know he doesn't turn out to be somebody like, give me a guy in Eagle history that was a good player, but wasn't an exceptional talent. Like when you talk about the top 15 receivers in the league. Give me a guy. Somebody in the Andy Reid era. Somebody like that. How do you know he doesn't turn out to be a pretty good quality wide receiver? I mean, a Jason Avant. Okay. How do you know he doesn't turn out to be that? Not all these guys. Freddie Mitchell. A Pinkston. A Jeremy Maclin. Those guys were good players. Not everybody you draft. Right. These guys were good football players. But because of you missing A.J. Brown, and because of you moving off of him, that's going to look a little bit more like a cliff dive. Okay? That's going to look more like a cliff dive. Howie is your first round pick. How is your first round pick and second round not playing? Dude, I just got through telling you, they may not hit on every one of these guys. But if you get 4 of your last 5 drafts, and you get 4 of those right with 4 years of getting starters, and these guys are yet to be determined if they're going to be good or not, I think, by the way, like I said, let's see how they play when they get into games. They're struggling right now. You know why they're struggling? Because everybody else is struggling. Dude, don't you think, ask yourself this question. Don't you think if the offensive skilled people with experience are struggling, like Jalen Hurts and everyone else, what would make you think rookies aren't gonna? It's asinine to think that Stowers and Lemon are going to walk in and be able to play right away when the veterans are struggling. So before you start saying, and by the way, am I defending Stowers and Lemon a little? Yeah. If I see, look, and I'm not saying Devontae Smith is struggling at all. I'm not saying that one bit. But you've got the entire offense. This is another day where the offense, again, did not have another good day. Yo, Sills, I think Smitty's going for 1,500 yards. He ain't going for 1,500 yards if you don't have another guy on the other side. Eagles GM Howie Roseman has made a trade in August in each of the last 5 years. If Roseman continues his streak, I discussed two trade targets to watch for and more here. So wait a minute. You're going to go and do this? You're trying to tell me this is what Howie's going to do. Listen to what he wants him to do. Go target more wide receivers. You just went in the April draft and used 2 picks, your 2 top picks, and you traded AJ away and you signed all these other guys, and you're still signing wideouts? That's going to look like a panic move. That's panicking. That's a panic move. And for the record, he is destroying Christian Gonzalez in practice. AJ's having a phenomenal camp. But one thing is for sure, we expected that. You're going to get the best A.J. Brown this year. We'll see what that looks like next year. History tells you Howie will make a trade. I hope it's not for a wide receiver. I want to see what Hurts can do with the weak supporting cast sales. If he wants a new contract, he needs to show me. Okay? Wow, Crowley. That's pretty good there, man. Okay? And like I said, I keep hearing people go, it's early. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's late. It's late. Sills Fitzgerald said today, Pitt didn't recruit in Minnesota. I saw that. We need to run 21-22 personnel to get Smith and the run game going if we can't run this system. I'll tell you what, so far, I'm seeing the 2021 offense. That's what I see. With Devontae Smith out there and the way people are talking and what folks are telling me and what listening to John McMullen, sounds like the 2021 offense to me. And every single time I hear folks, this is my 32nd camp covering this league. 32nd camp. Sills, wide receiver JSN went for 1,800 yards. Who's this guy on his other side? Again, he's got a quarterback that can throw the ball and has thrown for almost 9,000 yards in 2 years. Dude, what are you talking about? Sam Darnold throws the football better than Jalen Hurts. He's got an actual pocket passing quarterback. Why are you always sitting there making that comparison? You're not sitting there trying to tell yourself you think Jalen throws the ball better than Sam Darnold. You're not really saying that, are you? You're not saying that. Crazy out. Get this. Took him 10 years to figure it out, though, Sills. No. He was in wrong places. He was in the Jets and in Carolina. And when he got good coaching in Minnesota and in Seattle, he went 28-6. You see, Reyes, organizations let down quarterbacks more than quarterbacks let down organizations. He got better coaching, better players. Get this, folks. Okay, more excuses? Folks, how many people in here believe that the Jets and Carolina are as good an organization as Seattle or even Minnesota? Minnesota had shit quarterback play last year and they still won. Reyes thinks that, again, that's an excuse going and playing for the Jets. That's why you're not very smart, guy. Great receivers with elite quarterbacks put up numbers. Same as an elite quarterback. Let's see here. Reyes, what's Jalen's excuse for not developing as a passer? Wait till next year when Pats draft a stud wideout, or better yet, a stud running back. AJ will lose it. I think once you start getting older, Kim, you got to start realizing where you are in your career too, you know. Missed the point? Bro, you have no point. Again, you practice across the street from a nuked field. Zander was drafted number 3 overall. Jalen was drafted 53rd. The fact that they're comparable makes Jalen the better quarterback. I'm just exhausted on some of these people in here with like guys like this, and they're ridiculous, really. It's utterly ridiculous. Why is a 38-year-old Andy Dalton, and what's he doing with this camp? He's there to show everyone, again, give Jalen another coach, because you know why? Wisco, why do you think Andy Dalton's there? Why do you think Wisco, why do you think Andy Dalton is in training camp? What? Wisco, why would you think Andy Dalton is in training camp? I'll tell you why. Andy Dalton's got more experience than Sean Mannion. He's got more experience than Josh Grizzard. He's got more experience than Parks Frazier. And to some aspect, he's got more experience than Jalen Hurts. Those two guys are the most experienced offensive minds, along with Nick, in the huddle. To have another voice in there so they can talk on what the coaches are trying to do. Plus, he's familiar with West Coast. That's why he's there. He's not there because he's going to take anybody's gig. He's there to explain and help Hurts. So Hurts doesn't get lost in translation. So this offense needs reps in the preseason. Who decides whether they play? The players' union or the coaches? That's a team thing, dude. Andy Reid is going to play his guys. Eagles are not. Seals, Eagles just put out an awesome 8-minute behind-the-scenes look at Clint Hurt coaching. It's really good. Check it out when you can. Isn't it funny? We mentioned Clint Hurt yesterday and the job he's done. Eagles are putting out. Appreciate you guys watching the show. And believe me, if I were them, I'd make him assistant head football coach. And keep that guy as close as I can. Because that guy's worth the money. And if you don't, somebody's going to scoop him up in the offseason, and he's going to be a DC somewhere. Wow. Another poor day. Yeah. Practice matters. So Hurts not playing in the preseason. Well, no reps. No. So Every single time, and I'll say it again, every single time you hear people do this, well, it's early. No, it ain't. You're late. Eight Jules, clock it. I'm thinking Andy Dalton is there because he's a viable vet backup and gives them an opportunity to maybe move McKee if the opportunity presents itself. If you have Andy Dalton in a football game, something has seriously happened to your football team this year. Reyes, all into his feelings. Don't take it so personal. We're just talking football. It's just sports talk, guy. Get your panties in a bind. Dalton is there to help every quarterback on the roster understand the offense. Close it out. Yes. It's the same thing every year. They barely practice and hold guys from playing in preseason. I don't agree with it, but this is where we are. How about this one too? What's different this year, though, is they're doing some things. They're doing a lot of things completely different, though. Just saw the 8-minute video of Clint. Wow, love him. Guy's a great coach. And you know what's really cool is that Tracy Rocker is coaching somewhere. I can't remember. Either Houston or Tennessee. Tracy was a good coach too, man. Clint's just better. Both guys have had great pedigree of being great coaches. Training camp is not early. The players' union only allows them so many padded practices, and time on the field before you know they'll be saying it's only preseason. That's correct. DFW. It's going to go from this DFW. It's too early in camp to it's only preseason. Well, shit. The Eagles don't use preseason. They evaluate their players on what players are doing in these 15 practices. I asked everybody yesterday. I said, how many do you think they should play in the preseason? No, they're not. We only get 15 of these things. No idea if Tanner could consistently win. He's never had a chance and not with starters. Forrest, if Tanner McKee gets into a football game for the Philadelphia Eagles midseason, Jalen Hurts won't be the starting quarterback in 27. Put that out there. If Jalen Hurts is not on the field for 17 or 15 ball games, and Tanner McKee is in, Hurts' career in Philly is over. Hurts has now surpassed Russell Wilson for the most corny quotes in the NFL. Yeah. And by the way, no place anywhere have I ever said bench Jalen Hurts. I haven't remotely even said anything to that extent. Okay? It's foolish not to play the offense in the preseason. It's an entirely new system. They need to have the reps. Hang in there. They may do that. I'll tell you what. I know this. I know Vic is going to put his guys out there. Sills, in your career, have you ever crossed paths with Dan Le Batard? And do you like his commentary? No, I don't, and I can't stand the guy. And he and I hate one another very much. I think he's a bullshit artist. I think he's woke. And I have no respect for him. McKee is better fit with the anticipation throws, but you're trading some of Jalen's intangible. Why are you even going here? It's August 4th. Who's talking McKee? Hey, really? Because the other NFL teams are playing their starters in preseason this year. Steels, do you honestly think if Tanner had the opportunity, he would take the job and run with it? If so, how? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. He seems to have a lot of good intangibles. But, dude, you put Tanner McKee in your football team and in your starting lineup if you're the Jets, not the Eagles. Says, I remember when this organization's moved off of Matt Burke 5 years ago, he said, he's now Houston's DC. How you know Brian Johnson would be a better coach? You don't. That's the knee-jerk reaction that the organization has had. Why are we talking Tanner McKee here today? Because Hurts had a horrible day today? Is that why we're here? Holy cow. I hang in there, man. Holy cow. You talk about people going over the – I'm not even going to go there. 6-19, guy throws a pick, and he had – hey, by the way, and he had backups in. Well, this is why you're going to pay him $63 million. Eventually, you're not going to have a loaded team, guy. And I don't think the guy could play without a loaded team. That's been my narrative for 5.5 years. Okay? Look at this guy. And he's here every day. Hey, get this. Says you attract the lowest IQ psychopaths to support you. And you're here every day. Go figure that one out. And he's here every day for 4 hours. Go figure that one out. Not just today. He's had a shitload of horrible days. Thank you, my friend. What the hell is happening over at the 49ers training camp? They are putting Sprite in the Gatorade coolers. Who gives a shit? I like Tanner, but if he were so good, he would have beaten out Kenny Flickett, Mariota, and wouldn't be clashing with Andy Dalton for the number 2 quarterback. Hurts is clearly the best quarterback on the team. Got to see this through. Absolutely. Who in God's name is talking about Tyler McKee on August 4th? Guys, so what? He had a 6 for 19 day with backups and no Smitty. What did you think was going to happen? Hey, listen, I'm not going to tell you I told you so, but I'm going to tell you I told you so. If you don't have Devontae Smith on that field and you're going to try to throw the football, okay. Hey, dude. I mean, let's see here. And to remember when Tanner contribution to the team will be 3rd or 4th pick. A desperate team sends. Sure. Tanner McKee Day on a Tuesday? Tanner Tuesday. So what's the answer? Get rid of him and end up like Minnesota Murray versus McCarthy? I'll take a 700 winning with no flash. Char. Again, if this football team is not loaded, we're going to find out if your quarterback can carry the team. This is going to be the best thing ever happen to Eagle fans. He's either going to do it or he's not. And you're getting a little taste of that now. Lemon's not quite the guy it looks like they thought he might be. Long way to go on a career. Stowers can't get on the field. Okay. So what's your other weapons? A bunch of dudes that have been cast-offs from other rosters. Okay. That's the route you took. That's what you did. You got to learn to live with that. The Eagles' mentality was, well, we're going to get rid of AJ, so let's just sign a bunch of C students. And that's exactly what they did. And now everybody's kind of running around with their head chopped off because why? They're running around with their head chopped off because nobody knows what they're doing, because it's brand new. And they're still trying to come around. That's what they're doing. Tanner McKee. Dude, if somebody told me we'd be talking Tanner McKee on Tuesday, August 4th, I would have sewed my head to the floor. Is Hurts the best quarterback in the offensive scheme? Everyone has a chance at doing something they never done. Let them fight it out. Or you're about ready to do that. Remember, I put Flowers was number 10 on my list as the 10 best wide receivers in the NFL. Well, he got paid. I think he's number 4 now. 35 annually. Seals, with Flowers getting paid, how come Howie doesn't pay Devontae number 1 money? Smitty could get hurt with his extra workload and be screwed on a renewal deal, all because he wanted to give AJ money. Oh, whoa. AJ paid off. You paid AJ Brown to bring success. He did. Don't be mad at AJ for that. In AJ's 4 years, they were 50-18. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They won 1. What are you pissed off at him for? Smitty's the one that signed that shitty deal. And he's the one now that is so severely underpaid market-wise for 2s. I mean, he's severely underpaid for, like, the number 2 wide receiver. I mean, and by the way, Devontae Smith having 1,500 yards this year, only way that happens if somebody else shows up to help him out on the other side. What's kept Jalen the job the most he's only missed 2 games this season. Trey Lance lost the job because he was out for a while and Purdy kept winning. Purdy's a better player. $25 million, a shitty deal. That's why I can't afford to go to games. Well, we're talking NFL money, not me and you money. Me and you money, 25 cents matters. Lemon's injury is concerning. Lemon is concerning. Hamstring injuries lingering without proper rehab. If their staff pushes guys back too early, we're going to talk about that, by the way, because I went back and re-listened to that. What an indictment on the Eagles. One of the players made on the medical staff. That has just been glossed over. Landon Dickerson saying that the Eagles pushed him back out on the field too soon. Well, who stopped them from doing that? Is it because you had to play the guy because you were a suspect of your depth, and so you pushed Landon back out there too soon? That's on the medical staff. Or the coaches. Or Stoutland. Somebody. Landon Dickerson. I went back and listened to that, and then I went back and listened to the question Nick was asked. And one of the reporters said to Nick, hey, Nick, Landon has made it known that he thought that you guys put him back out on the field too soon. And then Nick went into player safety. I'm like, whoa. Was that a coach or was that the medical team that did that? Or both? That put his ass back out there? You mean to tell me you put Landon Dickerson? How do you know you weren't creating more catastrophic injuries on the guy's knees and legs by putting his ass out there too soon? You brought him back too soon? That's why Trent Williams is no longer a Washington Commander, is because of the medical people not handling that tumor he had when he was there in Washington. He wanted out because he didn't trust the medical staff. Hey, by the way, that's not just an opinion. That's what was said. Dude, you put me back on the field too soon? I thought you had great depth in your old line. Did Howie push him out there? Did Nick? Did Stoutland? Who put his ass out there ahead of schedule and he was playing hurt? How come nobody in the media followed that up? Hey, Nick, did you guys in the medical staff put Landon out there on the field too soon? Hey, by the way, did that also apply to Carter? And maybe that's why Carter sat out some ball games, because he didn't trust what you were doing with Landon? So wait a minute. You had 2 issues last year with medical. Actually, you had 3. You had Lane Johnson, you had Jalen Carter, and you had Landon Dickerson. You had 3 dudes with injuries that players, significant players, missed ball games. I mean, that's pretty substantial. What we were told, Lane was only going to miss, a couple weeks? And then we were told that Carter only has shoulder pain. Well, turned out to be he missed a couple ball games. Then, get this. Product probably should have come out there and played, but hold on. Nick Sirianni was asked in a press conference that Landon said that they may have rushed him out there on the field too soon. Nick, what do you think? Go back and listen to it. I went back and listened to it. Per his voice. Holy shit, guy. It's there on audio. Go listen to Nick Sirianni. Holy shit. No, dude, he's disputing the head coach and how he responded to the question. In my medical opinion, Landon was brought back way too soon. Normally 6 to 8 weeks needed after a knee procedure. Shit's in print, shit's in audio. That's bad. And got swept under the rug fast. Yeah, because nobody wants their medical staff being questioned. That's why. It's an uncomfortable position to be in. That's why. Sounds like Sirianni panicked. Sounds like he was trying to stop the bleeding on the offensive line. Email permit getting the player re-injured. The way some Eagle fans act, they don't deserve to have a football team. Because get this, Jones, all you're doing is repeating what the head football coach said yesterday. I mean, and it's like, I didn't hear that. That never happened. That was never said. Oh, by the way, I thought something was really wild. Why is Lane Johnson missing his 3rd practice? How about Lane Johnson not being in the players' top 100 too? I thought that was stupid. You're trying to tell me Lane Johnson's not one of the top 100 players in the NFL today? Is dumb. Is dumb. That guy should be in the top 50. He's one of the best football players in the game still. I don't care. I mean, he is. I'm just going to say this, because I always have to be careful when a player is missing practice when it comes to supposedly non-injury. I hope everything's okay. I really mean that. You know, I had a guy who I worked with one time. My wife was my producer. Guy's name was Craig Sheeman. He starts talking shit on Corey Stringer. The guy's a wimp. He's not tough. What do you mean heat exhaustion? And I'm like, you might want to cool out. I remember saying that on the air. It was national radio. It was on Fox Sports Radio. And I remember going, you might want to be cool on that. What do you mean? Heat exhaustion. I'm like, Craig, you might want to be cool on that. Next day, the guy died. He came running in and he goes, dude, I told you you should have been cool about it. You think these players, are going to take, they're going to take knees because what? They're in training camp. They want to get better. They want to get ready for the upcoming season. Not looking to miss practice. I personally say play every quarterback except Dalton in the preseason. With the ones, see who runs the offense better with the same talent, and that'll be a show. Dude, I am not doing anything of the sorts. Jalen Hurts' football team, until otherwise noted. You guys or everybody in here needs to pipe it down a little. You got me now defending the guy. That's absurd. We're not there. Hurts is QB1 until further notice. And that's not going to deviate. You have what you have. This is your guy. All the moves you made in the offseason. How many times did I come on during the offseason and say this? All the moves you make now are going to determine whether or not you're going to have a successful football team. The payoff's in the fall, not now. All those things that you did, signing all those wide receivers, drafting those wide receivers, all of that, okay? All of that is going to be answered in the fall. Breaking news, Dan Sileo defends Hurts on his show. Take him out? Stop talking Tanner McKee. I mean, Tanner McKee, I'd rather talk about the starting quarterback at the University of Miami than talk about Tanner McKee. Oh my God, they're turning on Hurts like they did AJ. Oh, that will happen. Take a look at Carson Wentz. Now, you're probably not going to turn on Hurts because Hurts delivered. And Hurts won a championship. So you won't be, okay? Okay? I sure hope so. I want the Eagles to upgrade tight end too. Calcaterra can't block at all. Stowers needs a lot of time. Can't block yet. Mutt is the third string blocking tight end. Maybe trade for a guy like Cole Kmet from the Bears. Holy cow. 5 practices in? You guys are already in a panic mode? Dude, and I won't lie to you. My Twitter has exploded with people now going, hey, Sills, this and that. And I'm going like, hey, hang in there. You got me backing people off the ledge now. Who would have thunk that shit? Let's get into the season here. It's going to be a wild ride this year. My concern is they have success and Mannion is hired as a head coach next season. Then what? Grizzard is the OC? I don't have a problem with Josh Grizzard. Benching Hurts would destroy his trade value, and the whole thing is stupidity. Correct. I agree with that 1,000%. I already know what's going to happen. Oh, no, Sills is being reasonable. Why? I've never said bench him. Where have you ever heard me say that? Are you kidding? I'm like the Joker with Batman. What would I do without you? What would I do without you? How would you feel about a tight end that gets blanketed by an edge rusher in his first practice dropping into coverage? Troubled. Edge rusher covering Stowers, I'd feel troubled. Seals, you're going to have so much content this year. Dan, it's already starting. Dude, of all the things I've written down, Tanner McKee was furthest from my mind today. Tanner McKee. By the way, you guys better stay tuned after this program for Birds 365 because I'm going to tune in because I want to hear what John McMullen says. I'm getting all these reports, and I got people sending me tons of emails and text messages. Unreal on what's going on right now. Shows the offense is terrible. Hurts was awful today. What did you think was going to go down? From the videos I've seen from camp, Hurts looks in great shape, and his demeanor looks to be in a great place. Congratulations. You're in shape going into camp, Mr. Hill. I think AJ leaving took a lot of weight off him. Let's hope he plays well. It's good optimism. Nothing wrong with that. Still, the content has been crazy, and I'm here for all the fucking shit. Don't forget about Peyton. He already a running quarterback, design runs. What's that kid's name? Is it Cole Peyton? Cole Peyton. Talk about a white guy name. Hey, let me guess. He played at North Dakota State. I think that's where he played, right? At North Dakota State. Cole Peyton. Let me guess. He's a dual threat quarterback. You bet he is. This guy's Tyson Hill 2.0. Can't get away from that shit. What's more likely, Hurts throwing for 4K, or Iran signing the peace deal? Hurts throwing for 4K. Yeah, Hurts throwing for 4K, Kyle. You got me good on that one. What's more likely, Hurts throwing for 4K or Iran signing a peace deal? Hurts throwing for 4K and 30 TDs. I'll even add that in. I saw that Ringo is getting cooked again. Hey, thank God that guy can play special teams, man. Sales Miami 7th in the Associated Press. That's a bit messed up for a team in the national championship game. What's next? Temple top 10? That's all right. But look at the teams ahead of them in that top 10. I voted on that. I had Miami 5th. I had them switched up with Indiana. No, I think I had, it was 6 and 7. Yeah, I think I put Ohio State 1. I put Oregon 2, Georgia 3. Texas, Notre Dame, Miami, and then Indiana, and then A&M, and then a bunch of other guys. By the way, I want Notre Dame ranked number 1 when we kick the shit out of them in November. I don't think they will keep Ringo just for special teams. If he has no value at cornerback or safety, then they'll probably let him go. Hey, dude, it's always tough to let go of a guy who runs 4.4s. and can play special teams, and you can have him as a gunner. Always difficult. Remember, that's tough to let guys like that go. You don't let speed walk out the door. Okay? Let's see here. Miami's paying $5 million for their quarterback. It's actually funny that they're exact same quarterback, just Peyton has a stronger arm and can read a defense. Rasputin, correct. An edge shouldn't be able to cover a pass-catching tight end. That's what Stowers is supposed to be. An athletic, fast, pass-catching tight end. Yeah, that's not a good sign. That an edge rusher is sticking with your tight end that you drafted. 4-3 Sills, shame he can't catch. They might have had a wide receiver. Hey, Piatis, you know what? I saw a video. Am I right when I saw this? That kid got an interception in the national championship game? He had an interception return, a pick six in the national championship game that kind of closed the door, I think. I was like, is that Keely Ringo? Here, what else we got here? Let's see. Oh, by the way, I got to say this to you about Jalen Hunt. He's been the best player in camp so far. And boy, I'll tell you, this is where your depth has showed up so far. You lose Grenard. Get this. Here's the difference in both sides of the football. Devontae's not on the field. The passing game today looked like a train wreck being reported. Grenard's not on the field. Hunt's there, and Hunt's been the best. He's been the best player on the field. And supposedly, he's dominating every time he gets out there on the field. He's beating, Mulata and guys like that. He's getting better and better and better and better. This may go down as one of the greatest draft choices. I mean, look, you've already got some of them. Moro Jomo, Jordan Mulata, and maybe this kid. I get it. It was a third. But, dude, I thought this guy was 4 years away. What was it? Colgate? Houston Christian something. The guy really never played any kind of high-level football whatsoever outside of the Ivy League. This guy's in the NFC East, and I mean, every time he steps on the field, he's getting better and better and better and better. You know what it's starting to look like? He's starting to look like an SEC player that they missed on. And he got kind of gobbled up, and nobody saw him and nobody recruited him, kind of like Q was when he went to Toledo. There's certain guys that are still falling through the cracks, and here's one of them. Q, Jalen Hunt. If you're at a non-power 5 and you're kind of like those guys, those are guys that were missed on in recruiting. Cornell, thank you, Rasputin. I mean, and so Hunt's getting better and better and better, and your depth showed up. So far, the defense has not missed a beat. This is without Jonathan Grenard. Can you imagine if you get Grenard and he's Grenard of 2 years ago, how much that's going to elevate both Hunt for getting more reps, and then when Grenard gets back, you get a seasoned pro back. That's called building depth. In all, it could be a silver lining here that the Eagles had Grenard out because Jalen Hunt is getting more reps. The more you do something, the better you're getting at it. And that's exactly what's happening to him, is that he's getting better and better and better. They're coaching him. They're putting him in good positions, and he's elevating. That's player development. This dude right here, man, I don't know. I'm going to make a question to you guys. If you had to sign a guy at the end of this year, would it be Moro Ajomo or would it be Jalen Hunt? Between those two dudes, at the end of this year, who would you sign? Hunt or Moro Ajomo? I think I'm in agreement with you guys. If that dude plays and he is going to look like what he's doing and practicing right now and the way he played and was getting better a year ago, and do I think he gets better this year? I do. You may be turning this guy into an elite player here. And when everything is said and done, we're going to be sitting here talking about Jalen Hunt at the end of this year going, holy shit, maybe we should have rethought that whole thing on Jonathan Grenard. And Jalen Hunt will make you think about, hey, you know what? Look at what we got here. And that makes Nolan Smith expendable. Oh, and by the way, with that move, that means Howie has a cover. All right, we didn't land on Nolan Smith, but we landed on Jalen Hunt. That's a wash. Do you know why the Brock Purdy deal doesn't really wash with Trey Lance? You gave up 3 ones for the guy. Even though Purdy brought you to a Super Bowl, you still surrendered 3 ones. I think the team is way better on Nolan than we are. Higher on Nolan? Well, if they were so high, why didn't they give him a 3-year contract extension? If they were so high on him. Hunt took off earlier than the Eagles expected. This was the year that they said he'd take off when drafting him. Hey, by the way, real quick, you know what this also does? This also gives me a little bit more optimism on you or Bernard. Hey, dude. So you got Clint Hurt and you got Vic, and look what you've done to Jalen Hunt. You turned that project into that. And if I think what that is going to look like, I mean, that kid may turn out to be like somebody like a Danielle Hunter. How'd you like to have Jalen Hunt play like Danielle Hunter? That's a $35 million a year guy. That guy puts up 12, 13 sacks this year. You got quite the dilemma. You're not going to let a Jomo and that dude walk out the door, are you? Hey, man, that's like rich people problems going on there. Still, if our D-line is dominant this season, this defense will be suffocating. The kind of defense that can make you a playoff team no matter what your offense does. See, I disagree with that. Last year, the Cleveland Browns had the 5th best defense in pro football with Myles Garrett on it. And they still won 6 ball games. Now, am I saying that the Browns offense is the Eagle offense? No, the Eagle offense is better. So to your point, they could still be a playoff team. Hey, Curtis, the difference between 8-9 and 9-8 is 20 plays. Sills, I saw an argument that a freak athlete who hasn't played football and can have a positive as he hasn't learned bad habits. No, and plus you're in a system where you see people being developed. What was Houston's offense last year? What were they ranked last year? Houston, the Texans defense was, I think they gave up 274 total yards a year ago. They were exceptional. By the way, I'm going to look at the top defensive lines in pro football too. Offense, you said. Let's see, Fox. Let's see what the rankings were a year ago with them. What did Houston's offense rank last year? I thought they ran the ball pretty well. They didn't throw it obviously as well because Collins wasn't really that hot. But the Texans a year ago were 18th in total O. Not very good. So you're saying if the Eagles can be up there like in 15 to 18, they'll still be good enough to get to the playoffs. And do I think that the Eagle offense is better than the Texans offense? I do. I do think that. So your point's valid. Still, the skill level across all levels of the defense have me thinking this might be a historic unit. Hey, dude, I temper that right now with the offense that is struggling in camp. Let's see how that looks when you get into a game. I guarantee you Vic's saying the same thing. Hey, dude, they're struggling. Let's hang in there. Now, I'm thinking dude, I just got to telling you, I think this, I'm going to ask Zander that question here in a second. If you had to sign somebody at the end of this year, would you sign Morrow Jomo or Jalen Hunt? Who would you feel? And quite frankly, Morrow Jomo's getting better every year. Jalen Hunt's getting better every day. This guy's getting better every single guy in pundit that's out there at camp. You know what they're saying? Jalen Hunt's jumping off the video. I mean, every time you see him on the field, the guy's just all over the place. All right. So, hey, by the way, make sure, because again, I never thought in a billion years I'd ever hear Tanner McKee on a Tuesday on August 4th. Because Hurts went 6 of 19 today with a pick. Tanner McKee is, hey, even Big Sills is defending Jalen Hurts today. Mark it down. Flag it, Zander. Big Sills is now doing that. Crazy. Without further ado, let's bring our guy in. Big Z joins us now here on the program. Zander, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, my friend?
I am doing, man. What do you make of today, man? I mean, reports coming out. By the way, we'll get more detail with John McMullen later after the program. But I got Gary sending me text messages. I got a lot of folks saying it was a kind of an ugly day for the first day of pads for the offense again. What do you make of this?
Yeah, well, Devontae and Mekhi Lemon were both out today with a hamstring injury. So, that's something to keep an eye on, obviously. And I just read McMullen's article. That receiving group's not very good when Devontae Smith goes down. So I don't think there's anything to be concerned with the injury, but, obviously have to keep an eye on it. If this team does lose Devontae Smith at any point this year, I mean, they are not equipped like they once were to be able to play with that. Remember, AJ missed some games each year. Even Devontae missed a couple games. They still had pass catchers and they still were able to play offense. I don't know what it's going to look like, if Devontae goes out this year, but so yeah, not another not so great day for the offense, but it is what it is at this point.
Well, here, you know what, Zander, and and I'm not saying you're saying this, but a lot of people are saying it's early. You only have 15 practices.
No, really?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Not
2 days.
camp.
2 days. You have 15 practices. Look it up. Go ahead.
Wait, what do you mean 15 practices?
You have 15 two-a-day practices.
They don't do 2 a days.
Okay, well, in camp you have 15 here.
Wait, no, I'm not trying to argue. I'm just asking what you're saying. You mean there's?
I'm saying during your training camp, prior to like what you have in your training camp, okay, before you break camp, you have 15 practices of how many? You have 15 practices prior to, I believe, the start of the regular season. How many practices? How many two-a-day practices? How many two-a-day practices? Or how many practices get this here. Practices do teams get in NFL training camps?
Yeah, last year they had 18. So you're definitely closer than I thought. I thought it was going to be more.
It's 16 to 20. You have 16 to 20 here.
During last year they had 18.
During NFL training camp, teams generally hold around 16 to 20 total practices leading up to the first preseason game.
Yeah. Well, you're right. So they're what? They're a third of the way through because today was day 5, right?
Yep.
So they're just about a third of the way through them. I expect the second half to hopefully be better, just from a sense of they're not installing. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. They have to be better. But I don't really have this expectation, so that they ever have to look incredible in camp. So even if you get to day 16 and it's like, all right, they still struggled. I mean, you could be in the middle of the year and you could struggle in a practice. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. So I don't think it's worth overreacting, but I think some of the detailed stuff is what's sticking out to me to keep an eye on, just like Mekhi Lemon. Is he going to be ready to contribute this year on a consistent level? I don't know yet. So those are the things that I think are more important than the offense struggled again versus Vic Fangio's defense.
Okay, well then here. So do you believe that the Eagles are going to play the starters in the exhibition games?
No.
Okay, no. Well then, how are you going to evaluate who's playing well? Practice. There's no other way. I mean, you just can't sit there and go, I'm not aiming this at you. What I'm saying is, if you're not going to play the starters in the exhibition season, how the hell are you getting an evaluation of them?
Yeah, but what would you rather have? Them playing the exhibition season or them be healthy at the end of the year?
My fire back to people that say, well, I'm not concerned right now. Well, because, we're going to see how this thing evolves and well, wait a minute. The only way you're going to get an evaluation on these players and where they fit is in practice, because you don't use the games.
Well,
there's no other way.
I agree with that, but I don't think it's pressing enough to change their MO, because they've been one of the healthiest teams in football. So you're prioritizing the fact that they need to look good in what you call Liars Month over the fact that their method has worked best.
Well, because you've pulled the carpet out of what you've done for 5 years.
I know, but that doesn't mean you abandon that philosophy. I mean, whether you're changing your scheme or not, you need players healthy in January. I don't give a shit what you're running. You're not going to win if they're not.
So if you're not on the same page going into September, their attitude is, I still want to be completely healthy and we'll figure it out in September.
Well, I mean, I think there's a learning process in September that will take place regardless of if they play a series in August.
Oh, what I'm trying to figure out is how are you looking at a player and evaluating a player if it's not just based off the practices that they go through on a daily basis, and you're getting 20 of these or 18 of these things prior to going into training camp or to the exhibition games that you don't use. I'm trying to, when I look at Mekhi Lemon, how do you know he's going to be ready? Unless you're evaluating him through practice. And if that guy's not out there and he's limping around and he's fucking around out there.
How did they know? They didn't know Quinyon Mitchell was ready.
Okay. So you're comparing him, or are you saying his situation?
I'm comparing the situations, because they're not going to abandon the philosophy, because the player is different, even if there's not as much confidence. That's what I think. And I think they're right, by the way. I mean, that's how I would approach it too. I mean, I think, trying to emphasize the health has been such a big part of winning for them. Like, for example, last year they were 4-0 in September. It didn't matter. So to try and optimize to have players ready to go for September, to me, doesn't make the most sense as compared to take the approach that they've had where the emphasis is on player health and player safety. That's worked out well for them. They have been one of the more healthy teams in football.
Except for a year ago.
Yeah, were they missing a lot of guys? Well, I mean, I know the line
missed half the season. Carter missed time, and who else missed some time? Like you said, your wideouts missed a couple times, and Landon was basically said that he came back too soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was some wear and tear last year, but there was outside of Lane, there wasn't many big injuries.
Okay, so Landon saying yesterday or 2 days ago, I think it was, that he came back too soon. Carter missing games and Lane missing half the season. Isn't that a sign of the team getting older too?
Yeah, team is getting older. I mean, that's
Outside
just
of Carter.
yeah, team's getting older.
Okay.
But I mean, doesn't that happen to every team in the
Oh,
league?
absolutely,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I think you got
Especially
to.
what style of play.
I think that's probably the biggest thing there, more so than the age. And, the style of play that they were playing it never had a long shelf life. I mean, if you remember, you and John used to talk about that in the post-game show. People got so mad at you guys, but I mean, it was the reality. Now, obviously, the Eagles won the Super Bowl, so you're happy with the style of play they chose to play. But now here we are a couple years later. You don't have that type of shelf life, and maybe that's part of the reason that we're looking at a shifting offense anyway.
Z, are you concerned with Lemon?
I'm mildly concerned. I mean, I'm not. I'm not concerned about Lemon's career yet. I'm concerned about this season.
How he fits?
No, I want to preface that the right way though, because people are like, "Oh, it's year one. How can you?" Lemon has a different set of expectations as a rookie because they traded away AJ. So, in order for the team to go the distance or to accomplish what we want them to accomplish this year, you need the rookie receiver to play great. So, I'm not saying, hey, Lemon's going to be a career-long bust.
No.
But the Eagles need him to contribute in year one right now, not year three. Year three would be good. And my concern on that is, basically nothing at this point because it's way too early to tell on that. But for year one, the concern is high that he's not going to be able. I mean, the other thing is, Sills, when he has been on the field, it hasn't really looked great. And then he missed spring work with a hamstring, and now he misses, he's out today with a hamstring. I guess it's fair to wonder, how those are. They linger. Yeah. Some players are bogged down by those types of injuries. Is that something that lingers with Mekhi Lemon, or is he susceptible to that? So I think that's something to keep an eye on for sure.
I want to throw some numbers at you here, and I want you to tell me if you thought this. Let's just play a game here. 773 yards, 964, 859, 857, 1318, 1,000, 536, and 440. You know whose career that was? That's Jeremy Macklin's career. What if he turns out to be that guy? I'm okay with that. Did you think you were drafting Devontae Smith?
No, but I mean, I'd be good with that too. Again, the concern isn't there as much as it is on year one. Like, I don't know what he'll be in year 2, 3, 4, 5 in his career. I mean, let's see. But year one, I don't know. That's where my concern lies. Like, so I'm trying to go 1 year at a time here.
Yeah.
This team has had such great success, and I believe they still are operating from a mindset of, we can be a Super Bowl contender. I mean, they were ranked the second best roster in football by, the front offices around the league or the GMs and their scouts that Jeremy Fowler spoke with. So it's obvious that the belief is still the roster is good enough. Will Mekhi contribute enough to that to make up for the loss of AJ Brown? I don't think it's all on Mekhi, but it hasn't really been positive early. Like, when Devontae Smith got drafted, everybody's like, that dude's good. Yeah, that guy's freaking good. Like, all right, you feel better about
Leo, you're full of shit. That guy's a good player.
Right. And even then, though, like with how good Devontae looked, think about this. He was the number one target. He had the most targets that year of all Eagles players, and he had 960 yards.
Right.
And he was as polished as he was coming out.
Yep. So
if you factor in, all right, Lemon's going to be the 2 or the 3, I think more likely the 3 at this point. And he's not as talented as Devontae, not as crisp, not as acclimated to the town in the NFL. I mean, what are we looking at? 500 yards, 400 yards, 300 yards? I don't know. I think you need to be at 500 plus in order for it to be a mildly successful campaign, but we'll see if he can get there.
Hey, I want to do this because I saw Bijan get drafted. Let's play Monday morning quarterback. If you had to go back in that 23 draft, 8th pick of the draft, you know who that was? It was Bijan.
Yeah.
The 9th pick was Carter.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to do that all over again, what'd you take?
Well, are you assuming the Eagles could have traded up or something because he was
I'm
off the
just
board?
assuming at Carter. I'm just assuming Bijan wasn't taken at 8, and that he was there available for them to take at 9.
Well, he wasn't, but
Carter or him?
all right, I get what you're saying. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't, so he was off the board, but so they didn't really
Just
have.
remember, we talked about.
We did, but I don't like that you're framing it like they had the option. They didn't have the option.
Well, they traded up to 9. They could have traded up to 8.
They tried to trade up higher, and it didn't work that year.
Yeah.
So
maybe they were trying to trade for him.
I don't know. I mean, they did like him, but no, I wouldn't, because as awesome as Saquon has been, Saquon's addition worked so well because it was an addition to them after they built out what
Plus,
they
it's
do.
to make up a Philly to go line.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, Saquon came after they got everything else in place.
Yeah.
It was a great addition. But this team has always believed in the trenches. And that's what I believe is the best way to win with football, in football. So they got Jalen Carter, who's been a great player. He was a great player in that Super Bowl year. Do you think they win the Super Bowl without Jalen Carter in 24?
No.
I don't either. So
no.
Even if Bijan had the same type of campaign that Saquon had. Now, Bijan's a hell of a football player. I think anybody would.
And that's the guy they would want to have today on the.
I think anybody would want Bijan Robinson on their football team. I mean, that guy's a multifaceted, just flat out weapon with the ball. But I'm taking Carter. Remember, Sills, Carter was good enough coming out to be the number 1 overall pick.
He was.
It was some of the off the field stuff that knocked him down, and that's even why Chicago, if you remember. They wanted him, but they didn't have the balls to take him, and they traded back to 10, and they took Darnell Wright, who's actually turned out to be a pretty good pick for them. But, everybody wanted Carter. The Eagles were the ones who had the stones to do it and the GM with the type of leeway to do it, and they did it. So I wouldn't change that. I would take Carter there.
Okay, let's do something with players that are on the team now. I'm going to ask you this question on August 4th, and then I'm going to ask you this question on January 4th, or maybe February 14th when the season's over. At the end of the year, if you had the choice to sign Moro Ojomo or Jalen Hunt, who would you sign?
Well, it's actually a more interesting question than I think people. I saw a bunch of people jump on J-Looks, but the only thing I would add to the discussion would be, you did just pay big money on Grenard. And Moro Ojomo is a very versatile, explosive defensive tackle that's really main forte is pass rushing. So I'd still probably lean J-Looks, assuming he has the year we think he's going to have. If for example, if the contracts were on the table today, Sileo, I'd have to take Ojomo. I mean, Jalen Hunt is not done what Ojomo's done. Come on, let's not be
no, but
right. I mean, who's the more proven player?
I got it, but every day, man, all I hear is Gary Cobb's out there every day going like this. Dude, this guy,
dude, but I don't. It's practice.
That's how you play in that team.
I get it, but I watched Ojomo freaking in games. I mean, I watched the Ojomo take Jordan Davis, or them take Davis off the field because they couldn't put him on because Ojomo's too good at pass rushing.
He's a better run stopper.
Well, Ojomo, but he's not great at it either.
And you think Morrow is a better or more versatile player than Jalix?
No, I'm just adding. I mean,
See, I don't know either. I don't because he's still got so much more to go.
I think from a roster building standpoint, you need to take Jalix. I think that's fair. But I'm not living in that world. This is a hypothetical.
Well, no, it won't be.
Morrow,
at the end of the year, if that kid has a 12-sack year.
Well, then it's Jalix, and it's no question. But you do have to wonder. I mean, they did just pay Grenard, and if you're asking now, I mean, who's been better? I would take Morrow if it's off of right now. We're all, again, you used to say, I hate the word potential and projection.
Hate it.
Aren't we doing that with Jalix right now?
Yeah.
Morrow too, but we've seen more from Morrow. Let's wait and see. But I think it's going to be.
How much more do you think Morrow's going to get better, and how much more better do you think Jalix Hunt's going to get?
I think Jalix Hunt is probably a higher upside if he realizes it, if he gets to it.
Does Howie pay upside?
Hell yeah. He just paid Jordan Davis 26 large, and he's a 2-down DT.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Lane Johnson, what's going on, man? 3 straight days. Where are we going here? What's up?
I have a theory that they're letting
They're holding him out.
Yeah, not holding him out, but
I
you know,
would.
you know how a lot of veterans
I would.
they like wait till after camp to sign.
Yeah, I would. Or after
I
2
think
days.
Right. I think they're waiting. I think they're just letting. Now, I hope it is somewhat hopeful, but I don't think they want. I don't think they want Lane Johnson getting beat up in camp. I mean, he is 36 or 37 years old. I mean, you got to get that. So, it is what it is.
Dude, if I had to have the guy, you gave me 10 games or 12 games this year, I want the back end of the schedule, then I want the front end of the schedule.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because you know why? We saw it before. A 10-7 football team can win a Super Bowl. As long as you're playing better.
Yeah.
Dude, Eli Stowers. Where are we going with him?
Yeah, that right now looks like a tough early pick. Now, maybe it's just this future pick that they're looking to replace Goddard with, and maybe that pass catching ability does come into play. I mean, it's really weird though. Like they are setting this offense up to be, even in the future, it's like so different. Like you draft Mekhi Lemon, even if forget year one, you draft Stowers and Lemon as your 1 and 2 picks this year. They are the opposite type of players to what has worked with Jalen Hurts and this offense. They are like these.
You went from physical type players to
finesse, nimble dudes that are really, it's interesting how they're setting it up. I mean, some people out there think they have ulterior motives and they're setting the offense up for the future. I don't know what they're doing, but it is weird that they drafted players with that skill set. I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of other tight ends there when they drafted Stowers. I think Stowers has a good skill set, but I mean, that was a risky pick just because he was pretty new to tight end at Vanderbilt, right? Wasn't he? What position did he play a couple years ago?
He was off ball. He was like a third down guy, especially.
He was different. I mean, I remember Jordan Matthews was coaching there and helped him, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's one that doesn't look great. Wow, we just mentioned Darnell Wright, did we not?
Yes.
Look at this news that just came down a minute ago. Chicago Bears and right tackle Darnell Wright reach agreement on a 4-year, $116 million extension with $93 million guaranteed. Holy moly, dude! Is that the highest paid tackle in the league?
Holy shit, 90. Oh, was it 4 years or 3?
4 years.
Okay, so he got
most guaranteed money for an offensive lineman in NFL history. That's who the Bears took after Jalen Carter was drafted at 9 overall.
Yep. Wow. So does that come in at 34, 33? 29.
Yeah, the guarantees are under 25 per, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's 30. It's just under 30. 29, yeah.
Hey, Zander, do you think we're being unfair to these two rookies? I want to read this to you. In 21, the Eagles drafted Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson with their first 2 picks. In 22, they drafted Jordan Davis and Cam Jurgens with their top 2 picks. In 23, with their top 3, 2 first-rounders, and their second out of the first round was Steen in the third, they drafted Carter, Smith, and Steen. In 24,
who was the second rounder?
They didn't have one that year.
Okay.
In 24, they had Q and Cooper. In 25, they had Campbell and Makuba, who's having a good camp.
That is unreal.
They're all starters.
That's unreal. We're being a little unfair, but welcome to Philadelphia.
Those are all fucking starters.
Yeah, but I agree. And so the expectations are a little unfair, but welcome to wanting to be the greatest all the time. Welcome to wanting to be championship caliber. You don't operate like everybody else. I get it. It can be
Not
unfair. Exactly. So there's some of it is unfair, but welcome to Philadelphia. Welcome to great expectations. Welcome to the standard that Jalen Hurts and this team talks about all the time. And, you got to rise up to it, or Howie's going to go make a trade and move around you. So I get what you're saying, but look, it is champagne problems a little bit for the Eagles. But again, the point remains. If they want to be Super Bowl contenders year in and year out, You don't get that by mediocre. You don't get that by doing it like everybody else does it. So I think you got to be exceptional, and the fans are looking for exceptional results. Is that a tough environment? Sure. Can it be unfair? Sure. Such is life.
Who would you take? Myles Garrett, Kobe Turner, Brandon Fiske, Brian Young, who was a Pro Bowler a year ago, and potentially Aaron Donald. Or would you take the Eagle front? Let's leave Donald out of it.
Leave Donald out of it because he's not there yet.
Yep. Would it be fair to say the Rams are better at the end?
If they had Jared Verse, it would be probably the Rams.
Would it be fair though to say you're better inside and they're better outside?
Yeah, it's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, they're obviously better outside. They have Myles freaking Garrett. All right. I mean, I don't think we need to get into a conversation about that, but
Fisk a pretty good tackle. So is Turner.
He is, but he's not.
No, he's not those two.
The problem with the discussion in Philly is some of it is projection on Carter now because, he's had 2 years that were, average to maybe a little below average, above average, a little bit in that range. And then
I think Fisk walked back a little bit a year ago from his rookie year where he had 8.5 sacks. Last year he had 3.5. So, he walked back a little bit last year too. The Broncos do with Allen and those guys have a pretty good front. I'm starting to go down that lane, Z. Hey, I'm starting to get there. Eagles might have the best front four and the best front. And,
but it depends on Grenard. Like, what's he going to do? Is he going to be the Grenard that we think we signed, or is he going to be not the Grenard?
But I think that front seven of yours, the key is the backers for me.
Well, that's true. I mean, if you're going to factor them into the equation, they're going to help those defensive linemen for sure. But, the other thing is, what comes first, chicken or the egg? The coverage is going to be incredible, which is going to give the edges more opportunity. I mean, you're going to have sick coverage this year. If you're to Woolen, Quignon, and Cooper, I mean, I'm hoping that the opposing quarterbacks have one of the slowest times to throw versus the Eagles because I just think coverage is going to be so good. That's going to give those edge rushers an extra second. That's where I think a guy like Jalen Hurts could rack up the sacks,
I wonder if he's going to be aggressive this year.
How good do you think Aaron Donald would be if he returned right now? That's a lot of time off football. I know he's an insane guy, but what's it been, 3 years?
Yeah. This 2? I think it's 2.
This would be 3?
This would be 3. I think it's 2.
Aaron Donald stats.
I think he left in 23.
I'll tell you if you're right in a sec.
I thought it was 23.
23, you're right. He played 16 games in 23.
Now, they don't have to play him every down.
Dude, he had 111 career sacks as a tackle in 10 years.
11 a year. Averaged 11 a year for an interior defensive tackle. Look at the TFLs.
176.
Okay, so we averaged
260 quarterback hits.
So we averaged 17 TFLs a year and 11 sacks. Dude, that's getting around the horn.
Averaged 12.3 sacks per 17 games in his career.
Hey, what about the big conversation with Tanner McKee in here today? Because Hurts
is apparently looking like a stiff. Apparently, Tanner McKee is looking like a freaking pile of peanuts.
Dude, what are these people talking about?
Guy's a sack of potatoes.
I'm like, where are you going with that? Dude, I don't think there's anybody on this network has ever said bench Jalen Hurts or, hey, dude, nobody has ever said that here. Nobody has ever even, mentioned that.
I know, but what's going on, McKee? Everybody talked you up, and now you're freaking shit in the bed.
You said something earlier, though, about Hurts. Well, dude, if Devontae Smith is not out there, that's Jalen's responsibility to elevate those other guys, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
This is why you want to pay him 60, right?
He's got to prove that. I mean,
Why do you think they're struggling so much?
Who? The offense?
The offense.
Yeah, sells.
Oh.
Well, did the Miami offense struggle in practice? when you and Jerome Brown were attacking them every day?
I don't remember.
Right. All right. Good. I'm sure you don't.
No. Here, I'll tell you this.
I think there's a lot of variables to it. I don't think you just brought up the Rams. I'm sure their offense isn't struggling to this level, but they've also had McVay and they've had Stafford for a lot of years. They're not implementing anything new. So there's a lot of
worried.
Huh?
You're not worried.
No, it's too early to worry.
I'll ask you one more.
It's understandably, and this is the same shit we've been talking about all summer. It's understandable to have reason for, let's say, what's the word? Trepidation. All right, it's understandable to have that, but worried. I got to see some football.
Should they play once again in the preseason?
No. Shut up with this. I fight you on this every summer.
All right.
I don't understand. Why do you want them to do it? They've been one of the healthiest teams in football the last 5 years.
Because
they had 2 Super Bowl stills where they played with basically their entire starting 22.
You think they have the same leeway that they had, in your opinion, that they've had in the past, and the same margins for them to kind of roll in? We're going to run the ball well. We're going to be a dominant team at the point of attack. We're going to win games in spite of us struggling on offense a little bit, which the Eagles had a year ago. Oh. And by the way, that's been kind of a storyline, hasn't it been? Eagles offense struggles, still win.
Maybe there's more of that. How good do you think the defense is going to be this year in order for them to win games? I think the defense is good enough for 9-10 wins. Honestly.
Well, ask yourself this question, and I agree with that. How good would the offense be for you to cover that? Because a year ago, the number 4 team in the NFL was the Browns. They won 5 ball games. But I'm not comparing the Eagle offense to the Browns offense. I'm not.
Well,
okay.
That's where I think Jalen's management of a game actually helps. Now, it wasn't great last year because of the 3 and outs, but when you don't turn the ball over, that's when those things help. If you're turning the ball, if Shedeur Sanders has 3 picks, that's going to be tough for your team to win the game. So, a lot of shit goes into it. A lot of context to the game of football.
Boy, I'll say, man.
I can't believe you're trying to Sileoize me on August 1st.
No. Are you kidding me, man? This is going to be a star-studded season this year. Like everyone has been saying, man. Look, I got people on my Twitter page right now blowing it. By the way, I went from 1 million impressions to 10 in 8 days on my Twitter page because of some of the things that have been going on.
Are all the Eagle fans crying about you again?
Yeah, they are.
Oh, God.
They're fucking moaning about
it. It'll be the 5th straight year they're crying about Sileo. Don't you guys ever get tired of crying about people on social media? It's really obnoxious. You guys sound
sports talk. Dude, it's fucking sports talk, man.
I know you love it. It's like icy.
Oh, it's like fucking energy.
It is. It's like a fresh cup of coffee in the morning for you.
Who's been the most impressive player so far, according to John, you think, in practice?
Most impressive? I think yesterday he said it's Devontae Smith on offense by far.
Great.
And then on defense, he said Jalix and
Trotter?
No, it wasn't Trotter.
Carter.
Carter. He said the other thing I like is John said Carter or Davis looks really good again too. Like it looks like the conditioning stuff of the past is now we're going into year 2 where it looks like it's still in the past. That's a good
great sign.
That's a great sign.
That's a
great. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully he has a big year this year. I think Davis, needs to have a massive year this year.
Davis.
Massive. Yes, Davis.
3rd down, right?
1st and 2nd down.
Well, no, I'm talking being able to be a 3-down guy.
Yeah, but I think you still have a Jomo, so you have the rare opportunity this year for him to still get, have the time to progress. I need him to lock down 1st down. I want him to be a monster in the middle. And I think Carter has to help with that too, by the way.
Do you buy in this line? So some of the offensive guys are struggling with some of the terminology and some of the things that are being done in practice. These are veteran guys. Why wouldn't Stowers and Lemon struggle? I mean, you're looking at Lemon and Stowers and going, these guys just don't look the role. Well, I'm not hearing a lot of positivity coming out of the offensive side of the football either. So, I mean, look, I'm not trying to give people hall passes here, but I will give people a hall pass that are rookies. Dude, I mean, the fuck? What you guys have accomplished, what you've done the last 4 years with all these draft picks and all these people becoming starters, this is exactly why you draft guys in the first and second round. You're drafting starters. But that's unheard of 4 straight years.
I know, but, again, welcome to the great expectations. Welcome to being a great team. Welcome to being a great franchise. Do you guys want to be bums? Do you want to live like the rest of the league? You want to be the Cowboys? All right, so freaking get your head out of your ass. Great expectations are given when you want to achieve great things. Holy crap.
You see my boy where he got ranked 38th.
Who's your boy?
Cooper Dudgeon. What do you mean with my boy? Cooper
Dudgeon today.
30. He got what?
Hurt today.
Oh, can't be. He can't be too hurt.
No, I don't think it's too bad.
Good. No, he didn't. Did he get hurt?
Cooper DeJean.
What did he do? Fall on his wallet?
Avoids injury scare. Cooper DeJean appeared to injure his left arm and ran off the field to receive attention from the trainers. McLean later reported that DeJean appeared fine, although he remained on the sideline. No immediate indication of a significant injury. Philadelphia will have reason to exercise caution with one of its most valuable defenders.
Man, 6 of 19 today. Ooh, man.
There was no Devontae out there or Lemon.
Okay.
Boy, Jalen Hurts is about to learn what it's like to not have elite receivers because no Devontae and no Lemon out there. This dude's throwing the Wicks and Hollywood Brown.
And you see fucking my boy AJ cooking fucking Christian Gonzalez. He is fucking dominating. Dude, they are. He's having a sensation. Dude, he is having a sensational camp. He is. He's having a.
I didn't hear that anywhere but the National Football Show.
Okay, really? Well, go look at Kay Adams. She'll tell you too.
Oh yeah, because Kay, what is she doing? Glazing him because she got him for an interview?
She's there in New England. I don't know.
Yeah, she's got him for an interview, so she's glazing him up. That was part of the deal. Come on my show and I'll glaze you up. So Big Sills. Big Sills tells the Eagle fans how great you are.
Hard to believe that AJ is cooking one of the top corners in the league. He's not. It's not.
Let's look it up. AJ Brown practice.
Yeah. Look it up. See all them one-handed catches over Gonzalez and all the glazing that's going on up there for the guy. Woo! Having a good practice up there.
Battling to a near draw, says the Boston Herald.
Okay. A near draw.
He also dislocated his thumb.
You know what he said right after? Got to go out and play. I'm brought here to win games.
Gonzalez has had stellar moments in coverage, including breaking up deep targets and intercepting a red zone pass to Brown, while Brown has countered by winning some inside leverage for scores. The two stars frequently exchange friendly chirping and trash talk, setting a regular season physical tone for Patriots practices.
That's a great thing.
Doesn't sound like the glaze that you're giving them.
Hold on here.
Krispy Kreme glazed donut is what you're giving them.
I'll do this. Here. Drake May and A.J. Brown have been dominating training camp. How did the league let Drake May get a top 5 wideout in year 3 after coming off of a Super Bowl appearance?
Dude.
Here's Mike Garofalo. Not even a dislocated thumb can wipe the smile off of A.J. Brown's face these days. The Patriot wideout with Baldy and me on inside the training camp is sitting there talking how great camp has been. A.J. Brown and his mentality. I physically want to impose my will on people. I'm a dominator.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he did that in the playoff game last year.
Oh, my God. A.J. Brown speaks on his mentality. I'm a physically imposing man.
You really are glazed donut.
No.
You used to call Eagle fans glazed. You guys see how
Yahoo
the world is cyclical, everybody.
No.
It all comes full circle.
No, this is exactly what will be here. Oh, no, I called him A.J. Owens. I told you who the fuck the guy was. As Yahoo Sports picked up the National Football Show yesterday, I was so proud of Yahoo Sports when they said this. Former player Dan Sileo posts a video. The Eagles will regret moving off of A.J. Brown. And I will say that. You will regret this.
Well, I don't disagree with that yet.
They will. They should have done whatever they could to keep that guy. You don't believe that?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
The offense wasn't a big reason that they won with him in the last 2 years. So let's see what it looks like.
You think A.J. Brown? I mean, how about this? You think Devontae Smith? You still think he's going to have 1,500 yards, right?
I never said that. I never said that.
What'd you say?
Never in all of our shows, we have shows hours on end every day.
You never said 1,500 yards.
Never once have I uttered that.
Didn't you say 1,510?
I said 1,300 to 1,400.
Okay. You still hold by that number based on the other side and the other guys?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, who are they going to throw the ball to? Got to throw the ball at somebody.
Because if he has 1,500 yards, you're playing from behind. And the running game never came back. Right?
You're unbelievable.
What do you mean I'm unbelievable? What do you mean I'm unbelievable?
I think you're unbelievable.
What is unbelievable?
You're serving up a crock of doo-doo to anybody who will listen to it in this chat, and they're all eating it up.
Well, wait a minute.
Like a mouse on a mouse trap.
It's been 17.
Here's the trap. I got news for you guys.
It's been 18 games since your offense has showed up.
That's not. Well, they had a decent first 4 weeks when Jalen was running.
They did. Okay, so it's been 15 counting the playoffs. You got 15 weeks of like, okay, hey.
Who else didn't show up, right?
Who?
A.J. Owens, your boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
I had a horrible playoff performance. In fact, that thing could go down as one of the worst playoff performances in Philly history.
Oh, my God. There we go. Hey, there's Zander Sileo there that I love.
That was an abomination. That was an abomination.
Or what? What was more of an abomination? His play or that Ford Verts call?
I think both of them, but his play. He wouldn't have needed 4 verts if the guy caught the fucking pass to play before.
Hey, all kidding
aside. Actually, it was Devontae Smith who dropped the pass.
Hey, listen, all kidding aside, I'm actually very shocked that John is like really as down as he is. I mean,
dude, he's been
listen, all kidding. He's not Sileo, and I can't believe it. I mean, you know, I even when Hurts threw 3 touchdowns, he's like, hang on here. You can't
he doesn't care at all.
And I'm going like, well, wait a minute. Okay, so they went red zone. Yeah, well, they didn't progressively get down here. They put them there. And I'm like, holy shit. You know what that leads me to believe? It looks worse out there.
Well, they're changing. John doesn't like that they're changing. So I think he's a little biased to what he wanted. And he hasn't gotten over yet that they're changing off of what he wanted.
Dude, change is going to be bumpy.
Well, and that's part of it. I want objective analysis, though.
Objective. You're a sports talk guy. I mean, objective.
John needs to be.
What are you, a columnist in the New York Times?
I don't expect you to be objective. You've never been objective.
No, objective. I'm Big Silsive.
You hated A.J. Brown when he was on the Eagles.
Oh, no. I hated him.
Now you're like in love with the guy.
I never said the guy was a bad ball player. Never in a million years did I say that. I called him A.J. Owens.
You were unwilling to call him out for his poor play last year, which was consistent.
What do you mean poor play last year?
What do you mean? He had the most drops of his career. He was horrible last year.
Third in the NFL in the least amount of drops.
It's because he didn't get many targets because the guy couldn't get open to save his fucking life.
The quarterback couldn't find him.
He couldn't run a route. That bum knee.
Oh, I forgot that quarterback that goes across the middle. Hey, by the way, I am hearing they are doing more across the middle, though.
Yeah, well, good. They're going to
How
need
come
to.
Goddard's not getting any work?
I think he's been getting some work. I haven't heard that.
Okay.
I'll ask John about him tonight. You're right. It's been a little quiet on that camp. I got to hear a little bit more about that.
What about Barkley, dude? Well, actually, these last 2 days, right? These last 2 days are the first days that they've been in pads. So, I mean, how's that run game looking?
I think it's looked all right, but it's hard to tell. I mean, today was the first day of pads, so I'll get John's thoughts on that, but it's hard to tell in a run game. I mean, when there's no pads on, you know?
Yeah. Oh, my God, Z. This is going to be a year of years. This is going to be a year of years. How you feeling about it so far?
I feel good still. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to be too high or too low at this point. I mean, the team has been really good for 5 years. They still have a great GM. They still have a great roster. They still have a great defense. I mean, the offensive line is still good on paper. Can they play up to it this year? I think there's still a lot of reason for optimism, no matter what Sileo says, no matter how Sileo you are. There's a lot of reasons that this team could have great success. But they have, like every year in football, they have to make the right steps. They have to do what they need to do to be successful. Will they do that? Only they can determine that.
Hold on for a second. I got to do something here. Let me check some boxes here. Did I say that the offense struggled? No. Did I say that the wide receivers are struggling? No. Did I say that the offense with the passing game has struggled? Nope.
You got it.
Did I say that Mekhi Lemon was a stiff? Nope. I mean, all of these things are being said by other folks right now, bro. This has got to be the most negative all of your Philly people have been for a while. I'm usually here ESP going, ball never hit the ground. Guys got an 8+ rating. I'm hearing all kinds of other bullshit coming out of that thing now. Whoa, man. And you still got 14 wins.
What? What? I never said that. I think I have 11, don't I? Or 12.
12. Maybe 12. I think you said.
I have 12.
12. 12 wins. Man, Z. Hey, I'll tell you.
We have 2 super chats before Jason Cole gets here. Can we read them?
Hey, why are you getting mad at me here? What the fuck is going on here, man?
I mean, I'm already miserable now. I got to talk to McMullen for 2 hours tonight. We got a full show this evening. You've already got me miserable about the game, about the practice today.
Must be that
the offense sucked balls again.
Must be that wall in your pocket with that fucking coal in it with all that hot coal.
Yeah, it is. There is a hole in my pocket. Oh man.
Hey Z, I think this is going to be one of the greatest years we've ever seen with this team because we're going to get a lot of things answered. Okay, we are.
Something about that sounds nefarious to me.
See, look, I can't even say anything normally anymore to you without you going.
Something about that sounded nefarious. Something self-serving about that.
I love
Mr. Hill says, with the magic Howie displayed and Mr. Lurie paying upfront money on Carter's deal, do you guys think the cheap owners in the league will put a stop in the CBA on how the Eagles conduct business? I think they might.
Well, here, Mr. Hill, you see all the people crying about the Dodgers? Well, what do you think their NFL owners are doing about these void years? They're crying on Howie, and they want to stop that. You got the Yankees and the Mets and the Cubs crying on the Dodgers. The Yankees have been buying players since 1920 when they bought Ruth. And now all of a sudden the Dodgers are doing it because there's loopholes in it, and everyone's moaning. Hey, fucking pay up. You don't like what the Dodgers are doing? Pay up.
They don't want to pay up. That's why they're going to change the rule.
And that's why when Mr. Steinbrenner was alive, Mr. Steinbrenner said, come play in New York. I got you, bro. We're good. Stop moaning.
This guy's still living on the glory days. Jesse G says, offense will be shaky for a few months. Hopefully the defense can carry the first half of the season. Hopefully it's just growing pains. I'm still excited for week 1 in the JAKIB tailgate. Congrats on the wedding, Big C.
How about this, Jess?
What a great chat by Jesse G.
Hey, Jess, I hope you got a hope chest, don't you? All the things you put in your little hope chest.
No, I don't have hope chest.
Not you, him.
I don't think he does either. Guy sounds realistic to me.
I hope the offense does this. I hope this does that.
No matter how much Sileo tries, no matter how much he tries, the Eagles are a successful football team, everybody. They have been.
I hope you do that. How about this? Here's my favorite words. I fucking am. I will. We are. Those are my favorite words.
Well, guess what? You don't do that until February, guy.
I know this. When I walk into a match and I'm getting ready to play a football game, I'm fucking kicking your fucking ass from one sideline to the next sideline. And by the way, bring a miner's cap because you're going to need it. And you should bring a lunch pail. You're going to work, bitch.
All right. Well, that's a good thing for you to say, but I'm sure the pundits needed to see it.
And they did.
You did lose the one. All right. Yeah. I hate to do it to you, but you did lose the one.
Off the top rope. Gives me a fucking arm down on the Penn State game.
On me, all right. So I got to fucking clap back here.
Hey,
all right.
Z gives me a clamp down on the Penn State.
I mean, you had to lose to Penn State. It could have been any other team. I would have been all right with it.
I fucking hated that.
No wonder you hate Philly. You're taking the Pennsylvania State University. You're taking it out on Philly.
I don't hate Philly. That's not true. I actually love it.
Well, no, but you got to make them pay. I didn't say you hated them.
Oh my God, man!
All right, let me hear what Jason Cole has to say. I'm done listening to your ass right now.
Oh, mud on to me. Hey. Okay, one last
Oh no,
August 4th. Will the Eagles give me a prediction?
All right, I will.
I want a sports talk prediction.
All right.
Will the Eagles have regretted moving off of A.J. Brown by the end of the year?
On the field, yes.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if they'll have regretted moving on from the circus that came with it. But I think they'll have regretted moving on from him because I don't think they have the receivers right now in the stable to do what they need to do after DeVonta Smith. So,
okay. Hey, you think Howie makes a move and brings another guy in?
No.
All right.
Not at receiver.
All right. Well, guys, make sure, because John was out there, and make sure you listen to Birds 365. That's right after the program. And we shall hear, by the way, the upbeat John McMullen on Birds 365 right after the. By the way, I'm tuning in.
I better drink a Red Bull.
Get the fuck out of here. I love you.
All right, dude. See you, man. Later.
That is Big Z. All right, man. We got it going on here. By the way, my man, this is the man that, before we bring him up, you guys accused the man of driving a Miata. And my man doesn't drive Miatas. He drives Mercedes Benz. And he's a business owner. And he's also a Hall of Fame voter. And the Hall of Fame game, holy crap, we're 2 days away from the Hall of Fame game at Mr. Benson Stadium. I actually like Mr. Benson. God rest his soul. I thought he was a hell of an owner. And I love the fact that he brought in my friend Mickey Loomis back in the day, who's kind of making a resurgence with that Saints team. But I will ask him this, the same question that Yahoo Sports asked me yesterday. Without further ado, our friend from a long time, man. He is my friend. We talk NFL football with him. He is Jason Cole, Hall of Fame voter. He joins us now. Hey, bro, how you doing? When's the last time you went to the Hall of Fame game?
Ooh, it's been a while. I'd have to think about that because I do my best to forget the Hall of Fame game as soon as it's done. You're like, there's this great anticipation. You're like, oh, this will be cool. It'll be football again. And then you're like 2 series in, and you're like, man, this is like this. No. It's the anticipation is way bigger than the result. So, yeah, I'm.
Do you like that they switched it, Jace? Do you like that they switched it to playing the game and then they're doing the ceremonies after? Or did you like it the other way when they did the ceremonies, inducting all the Hall of Famers, getting the jackets on Friday, and then playing the game over the weekend?
I don't think it really makes a difference because my opinion is about the game, one way or the other. The game is the game, and it's a preseason game, and just it doesn't have the kind of impact that a game like that a first time out should be, because no stars play in it. It's an elaborate practice. You get to see, it's an extra opportunity to see guys on the lights. All that's fine. It's really related to those teams. It's important for those teams. But it's only important from the kind of a local angle. It's not important from a national angle, other than you get some B-roll for ESPN to use for a day or two, if that makes sense.
Okay, I'll ask you the question. Do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles at the end of the year will regret not having A.J. Brown and having worked it out to try to keep that guy there? Because I'll tell you something, Jace, from a local angle, they're struggling on offense right now in camp.
Well, why is it going to take that long to wait till the end of the year to regret it?
Okay.
Why can't you regret it now?
You think they are regretting it now?
I think you have to. I think you have to regret not working it out. Once you didn't work it out, you didn't have any choice. The guy's got to go because he's not going to play for you. He's going to be more of a pain in the ass. He made it clear already in the post, in the post trade comments that he was doing everything to get out of there. He was just going to continue to be a pain in the ass going forward. Your problem was when the problems first started and you saw the issues, you didn't have a way of working it out with him. You didn't have a way. You didn't have a head coach. You didn't have a GM. You didn't have a quarterback who knew how to get him re-engaged. And I'm not saying it's easy. You can be the best GM in the world. You can be the best coach in the world. You may not be able to re-engage him, but they didn't have a strategy by which to make it work with him. And I think that's partly due to, look, Howie's not a former player. He doesn't have locker room sense to him. He has a great ability. And again, that's not a knock on Howie as an overall general manager. Let's not confuse this. But he's not lived in the locker room. So he doesn't understand the inner workings of how do you get guys back on board when they're a problem. Sirianni doesn't really run the offense, right? Doesn't really, this is part of, he's kind of a prop in that way. So he doesn't really have the gravitas. Plus, Sirianni's this, kind of got that whole macho thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
My iPhone just loves this shit.
Yeah.
But like, he doesn't have the gravitas to get it done either. And Jalen just is kind of clueless. Like, he's just clueless as a quarterback about how you got to keep that guy happy. Because Jalen, maybe Jalen in his own mind thinks he's better than he is and therefore doesn't need AJ and doesn't understand the big picture. There's a lot that goes into this one. But it's kind of a colossal failure when you don't keep a number one receiver of that ability. And they are hard to replace.
Here's where I want to ask you for both of those sides. Okay. So Mike Tomlin handles Antonio Brown for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and Tom Brady's sitting next to a murderer, and he also handles Antonio Brown. How much of a responsibility
for a while? I mean, he's not a murderer.
Well, Aaron Hernandez was a murderer.
Oh, Hernandez. You're talking about Hernandez, yeah.
Well, I'm saying that, and he put him right next to him in his love. My point is, how much of a responsibility is it of the coach? Is it of the quarterback when you have those kind of players? I heard Tom Brady the other day talking about it's an enormous amount of energy that you have to waste. And it's waste, he said.
Yeah.
Go overboard to make sure these guys get their touches. And it's exhausting. But he did it. So
it's exhausting, but that's the job. That's the art, right? Like, that's That's how you keep guys interested on board. I mean, you're talking about the most competitive human beings in the world. And they all believe they deserve the ball. Even the guy who's a 6th round pick, because the guy who was a 6th round pick was probably a stud in high school. He's probably a stud most of the time in college. He just doesn't happen to measure up against pros. But you got to keep that dude engaged. You know, it takes a lot of hard knocks to get that out of dudes. Especially when, I mean, you're asking guys to be Superman on Sunday and to believe in themselves. And then you say, well, you know, you might get the ball, you might not. Well, screw that. I'm Superman. If you believe that I can run through walls and beat people and you're asking me to do that, get me the ball. That's how it works. And I know that there's a lot between selfishness and the team, and there's this constant balance. But you pump these guys up to believe in themselves and train themselves and believe that they're world beaters. And then you don't give them the ball on a regular basis. Like, what do you think that does to their brain? Right? Like it makes it hard. They want to show themselves. They want to prove it to themselves. They want to prove it to the world. They want to beat that guy's ass in front of them. Right? Like, you come up to the line of scrimmage, you're a wide receiver, you see some weak dude against you. Hey, get me the ball. This is my chance to shine. And then your quarterback doesn't do it. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen to that guy's brain? The most secure guy can handle that. And I'm sorry, AJ Brown proved himself he's not that secure.
You think he has a positive or negative impact in New England? Or will
it
be a year-to-year thing where this year you're going to get the best AJ, next year you're going to get the worst AJ?
I mean, I don't know how that's going to play. I mean, he's just going to get the ball a lot. As long as he gets the ball, I think he'll be fine. Because he wasn't a problem before this.
No.
He was a good teammate until he stopped getting the ball. So I think he's going to be fine.
How much do you think the resurgence of the running back position has now come back because of what we've seen with Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley in Philly, where, you know, even you can go Kenneth Walker won the Super Bowl MVP. I mean, Bijan Robinson getting 22.5 now today, and the Falcons doing that. He's a spectacular player. He's a modern day Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey's been doing this his entire career, and now he's getting paid like McCaffrey's getting paid. Is there a resurgence, you think, a little bit in that position? I know it's not being paid receiver money, but you're now starting to go above 20 million. Barkley's above 20 million. McCaffrey's above.
What are receivers at?
Like 35 to 40.
They're not even close. I mean, running backs are getting paid more because the cap's $300 million. Okay, the scale has to come up. Okay, that's all. They're tying guys up. But they're still not as important as wide receivers in terms of what you're going to pay them, because their longevity is still the same, which is short. Okay. Now, if you're asking me, is there going to be more production going forward in the next couple of years with running backs? I would say yes, it's probably going to be, because we're on an upswing in terms of, look, everybody's played so wide open for so long. Their personnel is built to play wide open. So what do you do when you're built to play wide open? The offense sits there and goes, okay, well, we're going to go back to playing power, right? And if we're playing power, we're using the running back more, and we'll highlight the running back more, and we'll throw dumb passes to him, and we'll make it work, right? That's what 2 years ago Philly did when they got, when they got Saquon. So this is the tool that we need to take advantage of the fact that we have these wide receivers that the defense has to account for. We have a tight end that the defense has to account for. Now we get the running back who, has to be accounted for. It's like when I watch people talk about basketball a lot, and they talk about the Kobe Shaq Lakers, right, who won 3 straight titles until Shaq got bored. Well, who are you going to double?
Right.
I double one of them, right? And you can't double 2, right? Like, you can't leave 2 other guys unguarded, right? So, it's a problem. And with Philadelphia, when they were at their best recently, it's because they couldn't double people on a regular basis. They picked one guy. Okay, you're going to double him. We'll throw the other guy. You're going to double him. We'll run it with Saquon. You're going to double this guy. Goddard's going to get the ball. That's how it works.
So Matthew Stafford said this morning after their morning session. I have never been around in my entire career more talented people in my entire 18-year NFL career. That Rams football team right now, I mean, that's as loaded of a superstar team as I've seen in a long time in a salary cap era. Trent McDuffie, you just gave him market money at the corner. You've got a Hall of Fame player in Garrett, Fisk in the middle. You've Kobe Turner. I mean, that's not just on defense. And I'm not even talking about the other side with Nakua, with Adams, with Stafford. I mean, and McVay. I mean, right? How are you not going to win this thing here? And it would be an indictment on that Rams team if they fall short, barring injury, right?
Well, might as well just crown him right now. So let's go. And look, that's just, I mean, I don't mean to be too overly
So
sarcastic.
that's what everyone's saying. I'm saying that's what everyone's saying about this team.
Look, it's a terrific team. It's well put together, and they do what they're best at, which is they believe in stars, sort of the Dallas mentality of the 90s, where you have stars and then you can fill in with other guys. Okay. And that's not a bad way of building. And then there's the sort of the Patriots of the early 2000s, which is a lot of guys, right? Be deep and, have one big star and then a lot of other ones. Although I would say in truth, the Patriots had more stars than we want to let on, particularly on defense. But that's neither here nor there. There's a lot of different ways to do it. This is the way that the Rams have selected to do it when they've won their Super Bowls. This is probably the best of those teams, right? But look, Stafford ain't young. Nakua's got some issues. Adams ain't young. And did we forget that the Super Bowl champions are in the division?
A tough division, too, not just
right. And the 49ers are, look, they got Methuselah playing on that team. But they got they're coming back healthy, with
Trent Williams can still play, bro.
Right, but they're old. I mean, they're just old.
Yeah.
Look, they are what they are. Kittle is old. Debo, old.
Bosa's getting there.
Bosa hasn't played well in 3 years,
Yep.
right? Like since he got his contract, he hasn't played well. Some of that's injury. Some of that, did he lose that little bit of a tick, right? But they've got stars too. Like they got three great teams in that division. I mean, let's just say they have 2 great teams and 1 very good team in that division. And I think it's going to be a hell of a fight to see who gets out of that. I think that, we'll see if Detroit is able to rebound. We'll see where Green Bay is at. Chicago's got a rough road to go because their schedule is a little harder than your normal one.
Detroit.
Detroit, I'm interested to see how they rebound. I mean, I'm not a big believer in Goff.
But the Packers.
So, what?
Packers
are fine. I mean, I just do it. Has Jordan Love ever done anything to really scare you?
No,
like
what?
There are moments with Jordan Love where I'm like, I really like this. I like what's going on. He gets hot. And then it's like, yeah.
He just he doesn't
right.
impress me.
He impresses me at times. It's just not consistent. And the key in this game is you got to be there, more times than not. And he just doesn't. He's not that guy. So that's why I worry about with Love. But good player, Caleb Williams. It's like it's going to all come together for him. Is he going to finally? He's going to take everything that Ben Johnson's telling him and really take it to heart. It's just, man, this is the NFC is interesting, but the West is loaded. That's just the best way to put it.
If you had to pick between these 2 coaches, Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay, to win a 60-minute football game, Who would you take?
Well, are they going against each other?
Yeah.
Well, Shanahan's usually beats him. Shanahan's in McVay's head. So that's a bad question. Because I think if you look at it historically,
Sirianni owns Shanahan. If we go owns he owns McVay. Do you really look at it that way? That head-to-head matchup?
Certain guys are a bad matchup for certain guys.
Huh.
Yeah, certain coaches know how to work around certain coaches. Yeah, they know each other. It's still, I mean, look, it's going to be a fun fight, and but McVay gets psyched out. McVay gets psyched out going up against Kyle.
Well, you're getting a question here about your bagel here, so you tell me.
Oh, look at this. Asiago, man, because I got to have that cheese on top right there, and especially toasted up, will give some nice fragrance. The poppy seed's good. This, like you gotta wash out your mouth so much after that because of that. Otherwise, your teeth are just, it is what it is with the.
And we couldn't eat poppy seeds during the year because sometimes they give you a negative drug test. So.
Yeah, that ain't because of the poppy seed. Okay?
That's what I was told.
You keep trying that bullshit.
Hey,
what are you talking about?
I don't know how that I don't know how that pot got in there.
I like it was your head. Every time you bullshit, and you're like the head goes like this.
Hey, I was over at Cole's place. He gave me a poppy seed bagel. I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Yeah, what the heck is that? Okay.
Hey, right. A couple more here, Jace. Joe Burrow, man. You hear Dexter Lawrence is destroying people in training camp right now, and that defense, for the first time, looks like they have something on that side of the ball. If they get any kind of defensive play, the Bengals, I mean, could you see them making a play? If that guy stays healthy, you get some defensive play. Could you see them being a Final Four team in the AFC?
I want to see what is the philosophy with their scheme, because they should play. Remember when the Saints won their Super Bowl under Breeze and Greg Williams was defensive coordinator. Yep. They played for turnovers. They played with high intensity, lots of blitzing. We're going to give up some points here and there. We understand that. We can bow up occasionally when we need to bow up, but what we're really trying to do is steal a possession or two. If we win the turnover battle with Drew Brees, we win the game. I wonder if they're going to be able to do the same thing in Cincinnati, because they've got better defense. Like I give them, Dexter Lawrence better. I still don't believe in it. Like, I just don't think. But are you good enough? Do you have just enough guys that you can say, hey, look, we can throw some extra blitzes in here. We can, we can run some overloads. We can play for an interception because Burrow can get us some points in a hurry. And if they do that and they decide to play games, like we'll play games in the 30s all the time, and we'll win 35-31. We'll win 30-27. We'll put up a 40 spot here and, win 40-35. If they're willing to play like that, some track meet football, I think they can have a lot of fun. The problem is defensive coordinators generally do not like to play that way. And both the head coach and the owner have to sign off on, this is what we're going to allow you to do, and we're not going to hold it against you. We're not going to hold points scored against our defense to be a negative against you because of the way we play. Or yards given up. We're not going to hold that against you. And that's tough for defensive coordinators.
I got one last one here for you. And here, let me say something to you here. So,
okay,
the celebration of life for my boy Billy Ray Smith Jr. on August 22nd that I'm going to. Believe it or not, I'm leaving the Dan Cave. And so I had a text message.
The Dan Cave?
Yeah, my Dan Cave. I don't like leaving my house for anything. I refuse to leave my house.
Never mind.
I don't like, yes, I just refuse to leave. I love being in my own domicile, and I don't, anyway. So I told people I was leaving and I was going to go. It's not that far away. And somebody texted me, a dear friend of mine, and he wants to know why you hate him so much.
Who?
There's actually two people. Okay. Cornelius Bennett. And
I don't hate Cornelius. I don't have an opinion. on Cornelius.
Leslie O'Neal.
I
They
don't
want to
hate
know.
Leslie O'Neal.
Wait. And I said, of course I can't. Of course I said that. Listen, he loves every guy that's, especially guys like you. He goes, well, how come he doesn't? These guys have forgotten us. And I'm like, it's a crime that Cornelius Bennett's not in the Hall of Fame. And it's a crime that Leslie O'Neal, who's like 6th all-time in sacks, is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's got 132. He's got 132 of them.
Okay.
How's he not in the Hall of Fame? And why do you hate these guys so? I know you don't.
I don't hate those guys. I hate you. For doing a radio thing and stirring it up because really that's such bullshit. Oh, I'm here in the Den Cave and I'm peace and love and
I'm in love.
I respect my guests. But why do you hate Cornelius Bennett?
Well, no, they asked me why, like, Leslie's 15th on the, what is he? He's like
Leslie deserves to be discussed. Leslie deserves to be discussed, but I don't know why he's not getting through. I'm one voter. I vote for him to make the top 25. I've voted for him to make the 15. There's not enough of me. Sadly, he played most of his career in San Diego.
He's got as many sacks as Lawrence Taylor.
And Cornelius Bennett played. Look, Cornelius Bennett is terrific. But he played on a defense with Bruce Smith and got overshadowed. He played on a team that had other Hall of Famers.
Daryl Talley should be in too, by the way. He's another great player. Daryl Talley.
Daryl Talley, man. Daryl Talley. Dan Marino was merciless with Daryl Talley, calling that man ugly. They were friends. They were good friends.
Good friends.
But every time, they're the best of friends. But
that thing was a rivalry, though, back from the time when he played at West Virginia,
let me just tell you this.
And
you
he
want
was
to talk about somebody who will never vote for Cornelius Bennett to make the Hall of Fame? Dan Marino will never vote for Cornelius Bennett to make the Hall of Fame. I'll tell you that. He hates his ass.
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know what, but I think it's Cornelius just talked a lot, right? Cornelius was cocky.
He was a barker, yes.
Yeah, he was a barker, and Marino didn't like it. Okay, I'll just tell you that.
Kind of probably goes down the Ed White line, right? Because Ed White went to how many Super Bowls? I think he went to 3. Yeah. Super Bowls or 4 maybe with the Vikings, and he's on the all-time teams with the Vikings and also the Chargers. The guy was a 10-time Pro Bowler, and like Ed White goes, "How come your boy? I see, because they see you on."
I've never had a chance to even talk about Ed White in that room. So don't even get me started with. I don't even know about Ed White because I've never come up in conversation.
Ed White has never come up in conversation.
No, not in since I've been a voter for 12 years. He's never come up in conversation. And I'm not saying he shouldn't have come up in conversation. He just hasn't come up in conversation.
Okay, real quick. Let me do this for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're doing something for me. This is a first.
5-time Pro Bowler. 50 of the greatest Vikings of all time. He's on the 25th anniversary Viking, the 40th anniversary. He's a Charger Hall of Famer. He's on the 50th Charger anniversary team and also the 40th anniversary team. He's on the all-time teams. He's a college football Hall of Famer as well.
Doesn't matter.
Don't
bring up college. That doesn't matter.
Okay. And he played on that Minnesota team, which they gave him the 1969 championship before the merger, that they ended up getting beat by the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But how's a guy that's considered the all-time greatest Charger and the all-time greatest Viking not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
He's the greatest Viking and the greatest Charger.
He's on their teams, on the greatest Viking and on the greatest Charger teams.
Yeah, that's some qualifying going on right there. I mean, look.
Well, they did go to 4. I
don't want to
go to 4 Super Bowls.
I understand, but I'm not going to go down some road that would lead to besmirching Ed White. Suffice to say, he has never been brought up on the ballot for me to discuss. I'm not part of the seniors subcommittee, so I don't know if the seniors subcommittee has ever talked about him.
So I got to get Rick Gosselin to get you on that list.
I'm not the guy to be on the seniors list.
Really?
I don't believe in the seniors.
You don't believe in changing history?
I mean, I just don't believe in. I'm not big on.
I didn't mean to add that into your like.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about like you have 20 years to make it or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah, yeah,
If you don't make it, there's got to be a point which I'm sorry. The answer is no.
yeah. I agreed.
And I'm sorry about that. And I'm not talking specifically about Ed White or Cornelius Bennett or Leslie O'Neal. I'm just saying there has to be a point which you say, look, you were terrific. You're not there.
You actually are showing respect for the sports writers of the time that covered the game.
Look, they brought, who was the guy that they brought? They brought Buddy Parker up, and I can talk about Buddy Parker easy because he was a head coach and won 2 championships, I think back to back with Detroit, if I remember correctly, and coached in an era. And somebody gave a very impassioned speech for Buddy Parker in support of him to make it as a contributor. And I was like, look, I said this during the meeting. I don't know Buddy Parker. I've never heard of Buddy Parker. The stories I've heard about Buddy Parker are mediocre, right? I just like there's nothing great. The people when he coached in Pittsburgh, he did nothing while he was there, right? And he had 4 Hall of Famers when he was in Detroit. And yeah, he won back-to-back championships, but I think it was a 10-team league. Okay, so I don't consider the accomplishment as great as you like to think.
And you could make the argument Paul Brown's teams of that time
right.
were
But here was my point. Why do I have to re-examine a guy 60 years later when the people who watched his work, the guys who watched his work
Agreed.
Knew the people who knew his work,
Yep.
talked to the people who knew his work. They said no to Buddy Parker. Why do I know better when I've never get a chance to talk to those people, never met Buddy Parker, never watched his teams play, don't know what he did. And I know people say, oh, he invented the 2-minute offense. Yeah, I'm not sure I buy into that one. And it was the quarterback who did that. We had in Pittsburgh. I'm trying to remember his name. Guy out of Texas, Hall of Fame quarterback. But like we're asked to reevaluate history a lot. And again, I have respect for Ed White, but I don't watch Ed White play live. Now I could go back if he makes the ballot. I will go back and I will look at some of his stuff, and I will evaluate it again if he ever gets that far. But for right now, I've got my hands full talking about the guys who are on the ballot. So, I'm sorry. No. Now, Cornelius Bennett, Leslie O'Neal, I saw those guys play. I can say, man, this one's an interesting discussion. We should have them in the room at some point.
You think Bobby Lane invented the 2-minute warning? Or you think the 2-minute
warning? It was Bobby Lane. Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, Bobby Lane's the one who invented it. It wasn't Buddy Parker.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Lane and Parker is given credit for the 2-minute offense, but it's really Lane's idea. Okay, to just play faster, and Lane was good at it. So, but like I don't consider the 2-minute offense as big a development in the history of the game. Like you want to talk about a development in the history of the game that's really truly important that changes the whole thing is the T formation. That's Clark Shaughnessy. Now we're getting into people that most of your listeners never heard of, but if you want to talk about a guy who deserves to go into the Hall of Fame based on his contributions to football in reinventing the game, it's Clark Shaughnessy, not Buddy Parker, not some of these other coaches who are brought up. And I'm questionable on whether even Shaughnessy belongs in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, because I'm not sure he was in the league long enough to deserve it. It's sort of like Bo Jackson, greatest running back I've ever seen, didn't play long enough in the league to merit being a Hall of Famer. Is he in the Hall of Fame of great athletes in American history? Hell yeah. No one has ever seen a human being do the things.
Do you think Sayers if Sayers was eligible today with only 28 or what was it?
65 games. Played 65 games.
65 games.
No.
With only 65 games, do you think if he
No.
was eligible to make the Hall of Fame, he'd make it now?
No. No. He's now.
You think that was Hallis's influence?
No, I think he was a great player, and I think he was one of the most dynamic threats.
But
in the
that
history
goes
of the
to
game.
your point of the time. Because
It's
the
the
sports
point in time.
writers, right, saw him and they went, no.
Yeah, right. Those guys saw him. It's just like with Joe Namath. If you look
Right.
at Joe Namath's stats,
More
His stats are like-
interceptions and touchdowns and a losing record.
right, you just go what? But if you say who impacted the game, who made people stand up and say, "Whoa, the AFL is something," who's like drove TV market, who was who was just a man who was a madman on the field, like just a brilliant player until his knees, undermined him. It's Joe Namath.
That's such a great column right there that you just Sayers, there's no way would go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but
Not a
the guys-
chance.
But the guys of the time, on what you say that you don't want to change history, that right there is the greatest example of it, because you're right. You guys are not putting a guy with 6,500 or 65 games. And really, when you look at his overall numbers, you're like, they're not really overly impressive. But then when you watch the highlight reel, you're like, okay, there's something different about that dude on the field.
That dude changes. That
That
dude changes games.
my opinion on that.
Right. And that's where I say those people watched at the time and they know what Gale Sayers was about. Just like, hey, Terrell Davis, people will downgrade Terrell Davis all they want because he was a product of a system and blah and blah. It's like, man, put his numbers and his performances in the playoffs up against any human being alive, and he is just all man. In the biggest stage, the biggest player, he was dominant. 8 games, 1,200 yards in the playoffs. 8 playoff games, 1,200 yards. He's on pace to set the rushing record, playing against the best teams in the league, and 2 of those games are Super Bowls. Like, people don't understand how great Terrell Davis was, and they go, "Oh, he didn't play long enough, and he didn't this." He played more games than Gale Sayers. Played 4 full seasons, and guess what? He left it out on the field because he got injured trying to make a tackle. Right? Like that guy played. He gave everything he had to the game and was brilliant. But this is what we get into. It's like people talk about short careers and this and that. It's like Tony Baselli didn't play long enough. If you watch Tony Baselli play left tackle, like there's like 3 or 4 human beings in the history of the game who rate with Tony Baselli when he was at his best.
Agreed.
3 or 4 of them.
You think
I mean,
Derrick
like-
Henry?
yeah.
You think Derrick Henry's a first ballot?
I think he's getting close. I mean, it's tough. I haven't looked at the numbers.
If he gets another 1,300, if he gets 1,400 yards this year, he'll be at 4th all time in rushing behind Gore.
Oh, then he'll be, if he gets that far, he's going to get in. Now, first ballot, it's always weird. Your boy Frank Gore didn't get in the first ballot, but he'll get in eventually. It may take him a while.
How
but
do you
he'll
look
get
at that, Jace, when a guy wasn't the dominant player of a decade at all, but you look up at and you're like, hang on for a second, he's 3rd all time in history. Only Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton are ahead of him.
Yeah, Frank's a Hall of Famer. He's just not an electric Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He doesn't have electric moments.
But don't you have to be electric to be a Hall of Famer?
No, you don't have to. You don't.
Really?
Have to. No, you can be workmanlike sometimes.
Because I don't think Frank was special, except for the fact that his longevity was special.
But hey, look, availability is the most important ability there is.
Hey, man,
You
play that many years in the NFL. It is a wonderful thing.
Hey, I grew up, and I always say this. I grew up in Los Angeles as a Dodgers fan, and I watched Don Sutton. Okay? Don Sutton was not Sandy Koufax. Don
No,
Sutton
or
was
Dodge,
not
or
Don
Drysdale.
Drysdale.
No.
He wasn't even really Andy Messersmith.
Or
okay?
He wasn't Kershaw.
Or he wasn't, yeah, he wasn't Hershiser in the moment. That man took the ball every 5 days for 24 straight years. He won 324 games. He struck out over 3,000 people. And he was so dependable. I think he has 60 something shutouts in his career. And in playing in an era when you were supposed to pitch 9.
Yep.
And if you came out, you were pissed off, right? Don Sutton is a Hall of Famer because he gave everything he had to the game. He was there every game, giving it all. Frank Gore, same kind of guy. There's a certain point at which longevity and achievement matter, and those guys matter. I believe in that, and there are some special, but it has to be special cases.
Do you agree that, or would you hold against Lane Johnson failing a drug test twice? Would you hold that against him?
Well, he ain't going to make first ballot. I can tell you that.
He's not. He's what?
He won't make first ballot
because of that.
Yeah, because of that by itself.
He failed the drug test twice.
It is what it is. He's not going to make it first ballot. I mean, and I haven't examined the career enough to know, is he even a Hall of Famer, or is he an overwhelming? I know he's a damn good player. I don't know how many Pro Bowls and all and all pro teams he has. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly in that conversation. I know he's up there, but I haven't studied his career for the Hall of Fame yet because I haven't had to. Okay, again, I don't focus on guys that I don't have to focus on yet when it comes to that. And I will never, I hate this more than anything else. I will never say future Hall of Famer unless it is so dead obvious.
Mahomes.
Yeah, like Tom Brady, future Hall of Famer. Thank you. What are we talking about? Peyton Manning, you got it, right? Brett Favre, okay, we got it, right? Future Hall of Famer. There's like less than 2 handfuls of those guys, right? You just don't ever say that about guys because it's not fair to the process. Okay, it's not fair to those guys themselves because you're putting them on too much of a pedestal already. But I can tell you right now, as many awards as Lane Johnson has, as deserving as he may be of being in the Hall of Fame, the fact that he's failed 2 drug tests, just knowing the room the way I know it, I'm not saying I'm voting no. I may vote no because I don't know yet. But I can say right now that based on the way that the room goes, failing 2 drug tests is going to cost you. That's just the way it is. It's part of the reason Antonio Gates didn't make it on the first ballot. Not the only reason, but part of the reason he didn't make it. Didn't work against Julius Peppers, but Julius Peppers is a different beast.
Yeah.
Julius Peppers.
Hey, look at this. So I got 2 people want to ask you a question, Jace. You got 2 seconds here? Jason Cole. Kyle versus Jim Harbaugh. Who would you take?
I take Kyle.
Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle's been. I mean, Jim Harbaugh's been there too, and I like Jim Harbaugh a lot. I love the style, but he hasn't accomplished as much as Kyle yet.
Okay. How about this one? Buddy Ryan, will he ever get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
No.
Hang on. He is the inventor of the 46.
Yep.
He's one of the greatest look at the Hall of Famers that Reggie White, Mike Singletary, Richard Dent. I mean, there's
a difference here. There's 2 ways to answer this. Does he deserve to get in the Hall of Fame for his contributions as an assistant coach to changing the way defensive football is thought of, to coaching being the defensive coordinator of the Jets when they upset the Colts, to being the father of the Purple People Eaters, to the Bear, to his contributions with the Bears
and Eagles.
And the Eagles, but most of the Bears, the 46.
That's a great poll, Jay. Still,
look, does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? In my view, yes. Will he make the Hall of Fame? No. It's hard for guys who are not head coaches, not great head coaches, to make it. Yeah, it's just unfortunately that's the way it is. He won't go
into that contributor like Coryell did.
Coryell was a head coach.
And
I'll say this: a damn fine head coach when you then
in a
account
shitty,
for
in a time when you had, and you're in an era where you had the Dolphins, the Raiders,
time
and
out, time out, time out. No. Here's the greatest thing that Don Coryell ever did. He won games in St. Louis working for old man Bidwell.
That's right. He won a division, and he actually
he won games in San Diego for Gene Klein.
That's right.
Okay. What people don't ever respect, and this is why Jeff Fisher gets a little more respect from me than a lot of other people. You spend your entire career, working for bad owners. Guess what happens? If you win games working for bad owners, you spend 20 years working for Bud Adams. You spend years working for, Stan Kroenke when he doesn't want to win games in St. Louis, and you still manage to win games. You're Don Coryell. You win games working for old man Bidwell. Holy crap, you've done it. You're like a god.
Plus that offense.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you reinvent some things. I mean, Don Coryell's a genius. Buddy Ryan, genius. Buddy Ryan, yes, Buddy Ryan deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Bill Arnsparger deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. These are guys, Clark Shaughnessy deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame. These are guys who changed the game, who are part of the history of the game, part of the fabric of the game. Will they get in? No.
Arnsparger was, my uncle hired him with the New York Giants, Robustelli and Jace. Yep. When he was the head coach at LSU, and I got thrown out of Maryland, first call I got was from Bill Arnsparger. He had just left the Dolphins as the defensive coordinator.
Want to come to Baton Rouge, son?
Hey, he goes like this. He goes, I'd just like to come play at LSU. And I'm like, it was between LSU, Barry Switzer, and Jimmy. I had originally signed.
Oh, those Jimmy and Barry. Wow.
I originally signed with Barry. I still have the scholarship that I signed, and my aunt.
Did Jimmy call Barry and talk shit to him after
no, actually, what happened? Hey, actually, what happened was that Bernie Kosar called Jimmy and said, because Pazzulli was on that Browns team, and he goes, "You got to get this guy Sileo." I think he signed a scholarship with Barry Switzer, and I was like, because they ran a nose guard and they had Tony Casillas there, and I'm like, I don't want to sit here, and I was like, I want to play now. Because I'm transferring. And so Arnsparger calls and goes, I'd like to play at LSU. And I'm like, I'm on my way. And then all of a sudden, Barry comes out of nowhere. He goes, you're the second Yankee. You guys don't play high school football up there. Nobody plays high school football in Connecticut. What are you kidding me? But I'm giving you a scholarship because, and look at this. I'm like one of the only guys he's ever recruited in his entire time from New England. And I'm like, okay, so I sign. Jimmy calls me up and goes, I could say it now. He goes, we got some things down here for you. I go, thanks. What kind of things?
Oh, what kind of things? In UM?
Well, you got to play. What kind of things? Things. I go, like, things? He goes, things. Butch Davis will be on the phone with you, and so will Wannstedt. And I go, things. Yes, we got a lot of things here.
And we're not talking about wings and things in Hollywood.
Oh no, we're not talking bagels here. And so the guy goes, hey, and so I get a call and Butch goes, hey, can you get out of that scholarship? I called Barry. Barry's like, oh, by the way, he posted it on his Twitter. I regret that decision because they went 33-3. We played them 3 years in a row. And the 3 losses were to us. And I was a factor in them 3 games. And Barry's like, yeah, great. And so, Jimmy talked me out of it. I got down to Miami, and I really loved my things.
It's a car, some cash.
Not a car, a Corvette. Hey, wait, this Corvette.
And let me just tell you, and let me just tell one more thing before I got to go. All you Philly fans, it's a Mercedes. 350 SLK. 350 SLK. It's used. I'll admit it's used. Okay, I'll admit it's a used car, but it's a drop top. It's in California right now, and it's beautiful. So suck on that, Philly.
Make sure you get the 4113 Northwest 16th Boulevard in Gainesville, Florida. It's the Bagel Bakery. He is our Hall of Fame voter and our dear friend, Jason Cole. Jace, thank you so much, bro.
Love,
man.
fly,
Love
fly
you.
Eagles, fly. I'll talk to you
got
later.
it. That is my friend, Jason Cole. It's not a Miata. It's a Mercedes. Jason Cole has 4 bagel shops now. He's a Hall of Fame voter. He's an entrepreneur. And you guys are like, Jason Cole works at a bagel shop and he's a Hall of Fame voter? You got to be kidding me. Yeah. Hey, Philly, it's not a Miata. A Miata. Yeah, one of these, right? I thought that was interesting, him saying that Lane Johnson's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Whew. I'm going to have to get a couple more dudes on and get that perspective. And we may have to talk Jason into that. We may have to talk him into that. Because I think Lane's a first ballot. I think Lane is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay? I'm sorry. I do. I mean, Senor, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 3 NFC championships. Hold on for a second. Lane Johnson. Man, Jason says that he's not a Hall of Famer? First ballot? I don't know about that. 6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champion. 3 NFC titles. 2 first-team All-Pros. Still. And that's when they just started changing the rule where they put the best tackles, not right tackle, because usually they would have 2 left tackles as the tackles. Now it's right and left. But I think that's changed because of the way they flip the defenses. I don't subscribe to that. It's because of the PED use that he's not a first ballot. That's what he said. Well, dude, they're going to tell the full story. That's what happens on Hall of Fame when you're voting. They're going to say he failed 2 drug tests. They're not just going to gloss over that. If Brady had failed a drug test, Brady wouldn't be a first ballot too. Lane's a Hall of Fame player. Seals, I don't think Gore's a Hall of Fame player. He was never a top 3 running back in his era at any point in his career. Twiz. I hate to say it because of that right there and that, but I never thought he was either. If cheating scandals kept Belichick out of first ballot, PEDs are going to keep, in effect, Lane. You're right. I never thought it would. But hearing a Hall of Fame guy talk and saying that, I'm going to get a couple more on. And I may have to try to persuade those guys. I do. If you notice, I think you guys had a lot to do with Eric Allen going in. How many Hall of Famers did we get on after Eric Allen came on? We got to get Eric Allen on again. And Eric said to me, all those Hall of Fame guys like Jared Bell, Armando, Jason, Howard Balzer. There were 3 more other guys that we put on because there's 50 of them. And I think we got 10 on. And I said, you got to put Eric Allen in. Let's see here. I didn't hear Jason's reasoning. I was generally asking Sills. It's all good. Yeah, he said it was because of the PED use. Eric Allen, wow, remember him too, Eagle fans. He was good. Well, he's been on the program 3 or 4 times. And we're working on Tim McManus too to try to come on the program. So, yes. Boy, I'll tell you what. My Twitter has exploded because we put up there about, Mekhi Lemon not really playing the part. Okay? This show helped him for sure. Eric Allen has said that. And he actually came on here and thanked you guys. Sills, didn't Bruce Smith get popped for steroids and he got in the hall? I don't remember that, but I'm not saying you're wrong. Let me see. Bruce Smith, PD. PED use. He was never suspended or publicly found guilty of using performance-enhancing drugs during his 19. In September of 88, Smith was suspended for 30 days by the NFL. He was suspended for violating the NFL's substance abuse policy, not for performance-enhancing drugs. I think it was cocaine. I think it was coke, dude, if I'm not mistaken. Epinenza didn't divulge much about why things broke down between him and the Cleveland Browns during free agency. I'm just happy I'm not a Brown and that I'm an Eagle. No shit. Who would want to be in that organization? I mean, I feel bad for Jared Verse. Like, where are they going? That's exactly why Sills tweets what he does. It gets views. I tweet the way I do because it's the way I think. I don't give a shit if it gets 1 or 2 or 1 million. I could care less. The Eagles can say that Mekhi Lemon hamstring injury isn't long-term concern, but when a player has missed time across several months due to an injury, it's a long-term concern. I agree with you. Hey, so far, his time as an Eagle, we've spent more time talking about him being hurt than we've talked about his production on the field. And when he's been on the field, he looks like Johnny Wilson. And it's becoming a problem. Get this. I'm not even talking about his play. I'm talking about the guy getting on the field so he could be a factor in the upcoming season and help the football team. Hey, let's say this. Don't worry about his numbers right now. Will the guy have an impact on the football? They're going to need him. Dude, if one thing is being said about today's practice is that the Philadelphia Eagles not having Devontae Smith on it, it was all over the place. Backup linemen, backup. You know what it looked like? It kind of looked like the playoff game, except not having AJ and Devontae. Dude, if you don't have AJ or Devontae on the football field, that was already going to be a big question mark going into this year. You don't have Devontae on that field, you look below common. But missing camp is big in regards for this season. Hey, Brendan, I brought up today, during training camp, you have 15 to 20 practices. A year ago, the Eagles used 18 of those practices before they broke camp. It's not like you have a shitload of time. You know, people keep saying it's early. Well, you already got 5 practices in. That means you got 12 more practices. Tops. Right? I mean, kids got to get out there. And they moved up for a Lemon and gave up a third rounder. Could have gotten Lemon in the third round. You're not getting Lemon in the third round. I think the Rams may have taken him instead of that quarterback. QB1 fired a tight throw pass over the middle to Elijah Moore, hitting him on the move for a big gain. Dude, he was 6 of 19 as an overall day with a pick. Still says he could care less on how many views they get, yet brought up several times today how many impressions. No, I just brought up how many people have come to my Twitter page. I don't care if one comes. I don't. I just brought that up. My Twitter is blown up because it's football season, not because of me. I mean, dude, stop trying to read into who I am. You don't know me from a can of paint. I like these people who do that. They write all this shit on my Twitter about me, and they don't know me from a can of paint. Lemon was on the phone with the Steelers when the Eagles whooped in and took him. Big Sills, your head is getting big. Bro, I've been arrogant for 35 years. 40 years. Since my playing days. Are you just finding that out now? Thanks. Thank you, my friend. He's just finding out now. Still says he got an ego. Really? What an epiphany. Way to break that story. Throwing wide receivers open was throw wide receivers open versus throwing when they are open is what separates the elite to the average. You're correct. Thank you, my friend. Steelers wasn't supposed to be talking to a player yet because they wasn't on the clock yet. Seals Lemon said the NFL playbook is a real challenge. It is. If the player is incompetent with the team cover, that with an injury. So here, I'll tell you what, those playbooks, dude. These I wonder if I still got that picture of that playbook. Dude, my NFL playbook was like this big. And when you saw the offensive playbook, these things are like, I swear, they're like Tokyo phone books. You're opening up and they go to page 500. Go to page 500. They're talking twist. Go to page 700. They're talking run stunts. Then you go back. This is how you go through your game plan or build a game plan. You take your playbook. By the way, lost playbooks, $1,000. That was 40 years ago. I can only imagine what a lost playbook is today. It's got to be $100,000. And like, you have your playbook, and on Wednesdays you sit down, and they'll come up and they'll pass out the game plan, and you get the game plan, and then the defensive coordinator will pull this sheet up. And on the chalkboard, it'll be this. Here's our objectives this week. Want to hold teams to under 275 yards in total offense, 19 points. We'd like to keep the guys at around 3 yards a carry. We'd like to have them at around 4 yards a pass. And we'd like to keep the first downs under 14. So you're looking at the team objectives and you're seeing them. Then you go and your defensive coordinators there in the meeting with you. Let's open up the playbook. Here are the top 25 plays that the Eagles love to run. And you'll look down and you'll see the top 25 out of different formations. Then you'll see brown set, green set, red set. Depending on what the hash mark is, if it's on the right hash, left hash, -20, +20, red zone, not red zone, middle of the field, 3rd and long, 2nd and 8. You'll see all of that all categorized for you. And then they'll go to your playbook. We'd like to run these run stunts against this formation. So you'll go over to page 268 on your playbook. You got a notepad with you. And you're sitting there going, we want to do run stunts 6, 10, and 9 because of matchups. Personnel people will come in and go, we think this matchup is good against this guy, this matchup. So we think that maybe they were running analytics on us at the time and we didn't even know it. So you'd pick 6 run stunts. Then you go to breakdown and you would go to your individual meetings. And then you start watching O-line. Here's what they like to do on the plus 20. This is like what they like to do on their own 35. First and second down. They like to run that power tray. Then you're sitting there and they go on the left hash. They like to come backside with that counter tray. You see them doing that. They like to bring that tight end across and sometimes give you a wham block in the middle there. Watch the splits inside because sometimes they'll go 2 feet splits or they'll have tight splits. If they're doing tight splits with the guys sitting back, they're going to want to try to get outside on you. So if I were us, I would slide the D front to the wide side of the field. So it's all that stuff. Dude, it is so complicated. And even more so now, these guys are even, because the game is played in more space now, I would even say that the game is even more so. Lemon will be fine if he stays healthy. Well, you got to take that conversation out of there already. All right. My great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the number one injury law firm in all of America for a reason, and that is because they win. Tell you about this all the time, folks. There is no firm like Morgan & Morgan. Family in Pennsylvania that was given $650K, that was not good enough. They ended up getting nearly $26 million in settlement, or the family in Florida that was initially offered $350,000. They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. And do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Mm-hmm. Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Dude, I got to keep telling you, man. Getting a boatload of people telling me how great Jalen Hurts is looking. And I'm going to bring this point up again to you. There's a silver lining in this thing with Grenard being injured. You're giving the kid more reps. Grenard's a vet. He's a veteran. So when he gets back, and supposedly Vic said the other day that he should be back for the start of the regular season. How they're going to amp him up and how they're going to ramp him up will be interesting, whether or not they play him in the opener, depending on how many weeks he does miss, whether they're going to get a 2-week window to get him ramped up to play. Maybe he plays week 2 or 3. But if Jalen Hurts continues to elevate his game, we said this earlier, this is where you're seeing your depth play out already. And it's not even the start of the regular season. You're seeing, and you're giving and creating depth with this. Grenard's a veteran guy. You think a guy like that really needs a ton of training camp? I don't think so. He's a pro. These guys want to get ready, and they want to get their bodies ready for the upcoming grind of an 18-game week. So you want to get yourself ready, and you want him in there because he's new to the program, but you're giving your other guys, and you're also giving your veteran free agent guys that you've brought in, Epicady, him, and Epinenza, right? You're getting those guys an opportunity to get reps. So you're creating some depth. Ike Reese says if the Eagles defense can live up to the potential, it won't matter if the offense gets off to a slow start. We have arguably the best defense in the NFL. Hey, dude, that's like saying that the Rams have the best roster in football right now. Great. Looks that way on paper, doesn't it? Why don't you just give the number 1 ranking to the Eagles defense in August 4th? And why don't you give the Rams the Super Bowl title now? I mean, won't matter. Well, let's check out attrition. Let's check out people stepping up. And by the way, I'll say this to Ike Reese's take. If you lead the league in 3 and outs again, it won't matter how good your defense is, because you'll be giving the defense in poor field position constantly. And if you keep giving that 3 and out, 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 that's going to wear you out like Chip Kelly's defenses got worn out. If you're last in 3 and outs, and so I disagree with that statement. If you are last in 3 and outs, okay, you think your defense is holding up? It didn't a year ago. And you pretty much got the same personnel back on both sides of the ball. Sills and Zander, I'm a fan, but stop talking about the defense. It can only be great depending on the offense. If not the great defense, which I agree is great, they'll have problems. I agree. They're going to win games in spite. Well, Zander's point is right. They won 11 games a year ago. But if you take my takeaway and how I look at a season, September's Liars Month. After September, they were 7-7 with the playoff loss. They were a 500 football team. And in those 6 losses, I pointed out to you, they gave up 150 yards rushing and 5 yards a carry in all 6 losses as an average. I don't know. I'm hearing nothing good about. I'm hearing nothing but good things for Woolen. If Vic can keep his head on straight, the Eagles could have a top 5 defense this year. Hey, once again, Mr. Hill, last year, and again, I'm not saying that the Eagles offense is going to be in the lane with the Browns offense of a year ago. Browns had the 5th best defense in football. If their offense isn't doing shit, you're going to win 6 games. Browns were 5th in defense in total defense a year ago. That didn't matter. Hey, Seals, who do you think Howie can trade for that would make this wide receiver group better? I don't think he will make any more moves. You're not going after. It would be a sign of panic. So let me get this right. And I'm not ripping you here, original Philly, but this is what happened. You moved off of AJ. You drafted your first 2 picks, a receiver, a wideout, and a tight end. You signed Dontavian Wicks. You brought in Elijah Moore. And you ended up going out and getting Hollywood Brown. Now you want to sign more wideouts? That's a sign of panicking. And we've said it. Hey, without Devontae Smith on the field, where's your explosion guys? Barkley? Fair enough. Who else? Oh, Goddard. Goddard's an explosion player? I do not believe the 2022 and the 2024 Eagles, I don't see the same talent on offense that you guys had then. Where? Where do you see that talent? Jake was a good quarterback. Cardinals don't have any creators to tell you how trash your team. Hey, yeah, nobody wants to cover the Cardinals. Is Jalen Hurts really Russell Wilson 2.0? Explain why he still believes Russell Wilson was a better quarterback than the Eagles franchise quarterback. Well, Russell Wilson in his same amount of time, his first 5 years as a starter, he had more wins, and he went to 2 straight Super Bowls, and he won one. I mean, his first, and plus he's a little bit better of a passer. And they really never had any big-time wide receivers when he was there. It was really Marshawn Lynch and that defense that really was. If you think about it, when Russell Wilson was in Seattle, what was the common denominator with Wilson? Once Marshawn Lynch wasn't in the backfield anymore, that team was never the same. That was built on a running game. Third down throws, being proficient on third down on offense. Wasn't really a big-time offense, except for the running game and how they played on defense. By the way, Gus Bradley and Dan Quinn, they built that defense with guys that were later-round picks. It's a hell of a defense. Legion of Boom was built with, like, Cam Chancellor and all them guys. Michael Bennett was where'd they get him from? I think New Orleans? No, the Bucks. That's right. New Orleans cut him. Believe it or not, the Bucks had him, and then Seattle signed him, and he turned out to be Michael Bennett, their defensive end. It was a crazy hire by John Schneider. I remember being on the air in Tampa going, don't let that guy go. And sure enough, Michael Bennett signs with Seattle, and he goes up there and has a fabulous career. But he was on, I believe, New Orleans first, and then he went to the Bucks. And then Seattle signed him. He's a good football player. Very underrated. Very underrated as a player. Goddard can't stay healthy, otherwise a stud. You know, yeah, you say that, but yet, I've never really ever thought they ever really utilized him enough. Because again, how can you be a tight end and have 99 passes since 2022 across the middle of the field and call yourself a tight end centric team when you don't really threaten the seams? You have always been a team that has been number centric. Boom, boom, really nothing in the middle, and no check down game. There's no intermediate passing game in the Hurts era or threatening the seams. They don't really threaten the seams there. Yeah, because of exceptional talent. Sills, I got to hope that Barkley makes up for some of the difference in the receiving game. Dude, that's the crux of the conversation for the Eagles in 2026. If that run game can't get going, all the rest of this stuff we're talking about is irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. That's why I asked the question to Jason Cole. I'm sorry. If you told me, who would you rather have? A prolific wideout or a prolific running back? Dude, give me the running back. Because you know why? Running the football, I control field position. I control the clock. You can't beat me. If I run the football for over 150 yards on you, get this. If you throw the ball for 400 yards and I run the ball for 200 yards, I'm more dominant than you. You know why? Because in that process of you throwing the ball for 400 yards, how many 3 and outs are you going to get in there? 4? 5? Maybe? Those are possessions you're surrendering. If I run the ball for 28 carries for 200 yards or 175 yards, you're not getting the ball back. And I'm running the clock out and I'm closing games out. Great passing teams, their biggest struggle is 2 minutes because they can't close games out if they don't have a way to run the football and the clock down. That's why most of those passing teams and those McVay passing teams get beat in 2 minutes. You know why McVay and Kyle Shanahan get beat in 2 minutes? They don't have backs to close games out. When you have a back that closes the game out, it's over. It's like having one hand tied behind your back. Dude, you're running at me at 5 yards a carry. That means every 2 carries, it's a first down. I don't care who the hell you are. You can't stop the clock. You're eating up field position, and you're eating up possessions. You give me a great running game over a great passing game, I'll take that every night. You're not beating a great running game. It's impossible. What happens when you throw the ball in an incomplete pass? You're not going to complete every pass. Clock stops. Here, this is the fastest way to lose a game. And this is why McVay loses games. 2 minutes are left, right? They want to try to close the game out. They throw the football on first and second down. Ball hits the ground both times. Incompletions. You got a minute left. Well, what happens? 20 seconds, boom. 20 seconds, boom. Clock stops. Third down, incompletion. You've given up basically only a minute of that time. You got to punt it away. When I run the ball, run it. 25 seconds. Run it. Timeout. Got to call a timeout. I'm running you off the scoreboard. You're just running teams off the scoreboard. And that's why the Eagles, they have to get that run game going. No Devontae or Mekhi Lemon means more opportunity for Dontavian Wicks and Elijah Moore and Darius Cooper and others to work with the Phillies' first team. Dude, I don't care about that. You've got 15 practices to 18 practices total during training camp before you start playing ball games. You need to get everybody on the same page. I mean, and Mekhi Lemon has to get out there. He has to be a factor. And by the way, factor, 500 yards. That guy is not getting you 750 yards this year and 8 touchdowns. And people in here saying that, well, yeah, the guy's going to go for he's going to go for 1,100 yards and 100 catches. Are you nuts? Shit, the way John's talking, that guy's not Darius Cooper. Did I miss Mr. Fact Zander? I need to rewind. Yes. Sills, the war of attrition is going to be huge in the NFC East. They are either going to be battle-tested or beaten up at the end of the year. We shall see. Hey, dude, the reason why the Eagles right now are hoping for health, style of play, that's been a physically dominant team. When you play that way and you're not with a finesse part of your offense, that's going to take a toll on you, dude. Look at the Cowboys. How long they lasted. It was a 5-year dynasty, and after that, it started going away. Why? Well, shit. How long can you keep running Emmett? Emmett right, Emmett left. Before you know it, Larry Allen's in San Francisco. Before you know it, Stepnoski's in Houston. Before you know it, Nate Newton is running out of gas. Before you know it, Eric Williams is in a car accident. Not the same unit. And you start, fading away. Especially with that style of play. I mean, that style of play, it takes a toll. Running the football like that, being dominant at the point of attack, running the football for over 400 carries 2 years ago? Are you kidding me? Not even counting the playoffs? Shit, dude. Want to know why your O-line's been injured the way it's been injured? It's been injured because of style of play. And style of play needs a respite. That's the passing game. And they got to hope that passing game has some ability this year of being able to take some of the heat. All right. Interesting day today, to say the least. Lane Johnson, third straight day also. I'll be listening too. John McMullen and Zander are going to do a special Birds 365. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Hit the like button. 2 to 6 tomorrow. We will have Battle Royale. We will see you tomorrow. And we'll catch you on the flip side.